Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another TB and Chill stream. We are in between Grand Arena season, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff to do in game. I've done everything else but TB, and I figured I'd reserve that time to join all of you guys, handle whatever you want to talk about. Questions and answers about the game in any fashion that I am qualified to talk about. So, here to do that, here to knock out the missions, and hang out with you guys. Let me get the music rolling. How is everybody doing tonight? Roar, I saw your resubscribe or your your resubscription on Twitch. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Zymergy, good to see you. Welcome. Maestro. All right, guys. So you know what the deal is. Ask questions at your will. I'm gonna get cracking. Just playing around with the new Focus Datacrons in Squad Arena. Yeah, how's that going for you, Greyport? Anything new you found? I've just been running the mall thing, and it's been fun. I'm hoping I can get some defense mods onto my Xeris and onto my Visas before lock, but I'm stressed on. Roar says, I appreciate all your help and insights. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you. I'm very honored that it helps. Great. There we go. All right. Hey, Sheepdog. Good to see you. Megatron. Good to see you. Greyport says, you're having some issues getting the Darth Vader cron to work on certain team comps. What's up with that? Vero Doom asks, my guild leader thinks Zepho is bugged. It's just the IPD rework, right? Yes, if you check the Datamine news channel on my Discord or, just the news channel on Swagga Events, any number of other Discords, CG's already put the word out that they are aware of it. I saw the headline shortly before I went live here. I didn't actually read it, but yeah, that's definitely their acknowledgement. So, something's wrong. It's not a delusion of your guild leader. Daze is a killer on the EP team. You said you've been tested in Squad Arena. Isn't there something in Grand Arena that's stopping them from getting Daze? Maybe I'm just Think Lord Vader with damage level 3 attacker. Beats Vader easily. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. But I mean, if you're saying that you have to use Lord Vader to beat this new EP Darth Vader Duels End team, I'm cool with that. There's a couple stresses for Lord Vader on offense. Okay, Zymergy says, essentially it said they think they know what's wrong. They're still testing and considering a make good. Okay. Yep. There you go. Something will be done. We failing there. Oh my! It's always like this with the. The only resistance Daze the Vader team has if the enemy Anakin is in the leader slot. Okay. I thought I remember something about resistance or immunity to Daze under some condition, but I could not remember what, so. Thank you for the reminder. There. Leave Brittany alone. Not good. Yep. Of those, not all is lost, just most is lost. Very good. Yeah, that's right. That is right. There are no banners in TV. You're not wrong about that. I don't think I do. Saves me. That's right. Win for the home team indeed. Just did your first R10 Graveport. Darth Revan, tired of the crap banners for R9 versus R10 mirror. Yeah, I can understand that. It was one of my first. I don't think he was the first, but one of the first. A lot of sense. Kill it. Grayport asks, do you think CG will ever open the floodgate for signal data farming? I mean, you just got an era battle that was added that gives out signal data in, I think, at least one of tiers, if not two, right? Isn't that the case? And I'm already getting a lot, like, on a regular basis. Ben Grogu resubscribed for 4 months here with Prime. Appreciate you. Hey, Tass, he says, how you doing, man? Welcome. Thank you for the resubscribe. But I don't know. It doesn't feel bad to me because I have still after. I mean, I did have a few of the characters fairly high in the relic level, or the era level. So I didn't pay the absolute maximum that I could have paid out of pocket for relics and signal data. But I had a lot left over is my point. And I still just do the 3 100 crystal refreshes every day. I don't know. I'm not hurting that bad. But I would certainly say that if you've been feeling shortchanged up until this point, them adding a new era battle has to be something you're happy about. Got that stuff in it. Yeah, Greyport says, I was wondering, it seems to be the rate limiting factor for relic levels. I burned through 1k blue signal data just on a few essentials and now don't have any more. Took the era characters to Relic 7 and then a few others. I mean, that was a good handful of characters then. It doesn't necessarily sound to me like you should feel like you got choked out. It feels like you covered a lot of ground. But regardless, see how you feel with the new era battle. If you're participating in the eras, like it sounds like you've been, you're probably in decent shape to get those materials from it. How is the Datacron farming? I'm going to be straight up with you, Sheepdog. I simplified the problem for myself. I bought the $15, what was it, calendar. So I'm getting the 600 a day for however many days. And then I also did buy the entire Ascension. So between that, and then the first few days of myself just farming through the 100 crystal refreshes, you may be unsurprised to learn I'm pretty much already done. I'll show you what I have, Datacron-wise. But I think I've got all the essentials. I'll probably end up picking up a couple more crons besides, because the set does have decent stats, and I really like the diversity of level 3 between light and dark side. But I'll show you what I got. Here you go. That's what I'm holding right now. Riorik says, Tassenix, I used your mod loadouts for the characters in Dark Decimation Air Battle and was able to clear all four tier 3 stars. Thank you. Glad to hear that, man. Delighted to hear that, really. That's so cool. So when you say my mod loadouts, like, you mean you're just like copying my set and primaries and running with that as best as you can? I'm curious, because commitment, man. Cool. Very, very nice. Okay, yeah, you stopped spending on character shards, Greyport, now you're just doing the passes. It would put me, frankly, when the era ends and all the units come in, a good number of them are going to be significant Grand Arena meta. So in practical terms, it would in the long term put me significantly behind to not spend. And two, it also just feel kind of cheap, because there's a certain amount that I'm willing to spend out of my own pocket anyway, which is definitely less than what it costs for an era. But I also am very privileged to have, Twitch subscribers, YouTube subscribers, patrons, donors. So it would just feel cheap to not actually do it. So regardless of how I personally feel, and I definitely wouldn't spend it like out of my money full cost, I'm gonna do what I have to do. All right. But yeah, I love to see how far I got. Yeah, I mean that's what it is, man. That's where I'm at with these right now. I'm pretty well prepared, I'd say. So you thinking the Andor era will be meta? I mean, certainly the Rebel fighter team featuring Andor himself is going to be pretty scary. Pretty scary stuff. The ISB team does feel like it has a lot of neat tricks, but I wonder if those neat tricks translate into something that's actually going to clear the enemy's board. Because it feels like a lot of, yes, clever subterfuge, interplay, deception. Yes, quite. Very thematically ISB. How are you actually killing anybody, though? So, we'll wait and see more. Nope. Reds fan asks, I wonder if there will be 7-dot mods soon. Maybe. It is one of the obvious areas to progress the game. Not an unfair question. I think I think the same thing about that I think about ship mod. I won't be the one that's hurt by it. People who are not going end up having a lot of 7-dot mods are going to quickly get separated out from those that do. Just going to become another segmenting force in the community. Eventually, you have to do things like that, and you could say that's kind of the case with any element of progression, but I don't know. Game's done so well for so long with 6 dots. I guess 7 dots eventually do have to come, but leave a lot of people. Chip mods, Datacron's a good idea. Datacron's definitely I've come around on. I've said this many, many times now. When they were new, I was not into them because I thought that they were inherently about, if you pay to have this thing, then you can narrow the number of counters against this otherwise top-notch team from something like 4 or 5 down to like 1 or 2. And we think that this is an advantage that's fair to for you to have across multiple teams on the same defense. This is fine. And for the first couple sets, it was like that. It was terrible. And they greatly reined it in from there. I gotta give them credit. It's never been as bad for me, in my opinion, as those first couple sets. There's been, like, this set 25 situation is a huge hot mess, but I don't think that's an inherent problem of the Datacron. The set 25 attacker level 6 definitely should have not been released in the state that it was in. They should have either nerfed it, as they ended up doing, before it went live in game, or take it as a lesson learned and have another preventative another preventative round of testing, something to catch this and not put it out live. But yeah. Anyways, Datacrons overall, though, have added immeasurable life to this game because there's no real reason at the top end of the game to keep playing once you have everything and you've played all the right combinations so many times. You know, you'll have fun playing different opponents. You guys will say different strategies, but I usually don't do this, but some opponents will, agree to like, oh, we'll only set GLs on the back wall. You have to clear all the bottom front teams. There will be no GLs. You can use no GLs, stuff like that. They'll come up with custom rules. That's interesting for some people. That type of thing is kind of lame for me. It's anti-competitive, right? It feels like pulling punches, right? But such are the antics that you're left with. Don't have something like Datacrons that are continuously changing how the game plays. So, down with it. They're all right. But ship mods, I don't know if they're a good idea. I don't know. All right, now Reds, I can respect this sentiment. It would be cool to see dead fleets like Hux, the Finalizer fleet, beat a GL fleet with good strategy from ship mods and ship Datacron. I'd rather just have a lifter. Why, if you want that, why do you want that only for a few months at a time? I'd just as soon have a lifter unit. And then if you're talking about, whoa, well, if you're going to do that, why won't you do that to Radis? Okay, now we're talking about a whole bunch of now actually good fleets, but, oh, Tass, why have that many fleets if you're only going to have 2 fleets, or 3 fleets per zone? Add a 4th. Like, people want more depth in fleets. That eventually has to mean that you're fighting more fleets, doesn't it? I'd rather just have a lifter. Greyport, I think CG is dodging ships. Every time they release one, it breaks the game, and Leviathan needs buff. Listen, I respect that there's problems. There's always something else. Not a perfect system. Goodness. People is yelling at you. Ow. Oh my goodness. He is giving you riot act. For not paying the appropriate amount of attention. Pick her up. Adore her fluff. Yes. Yes, sandpaper kisses. Good. Good. All right. Let's see here. Meow. Poor sweet little thing. Can you guys hear the cat yelling at her? Good. Look at this vicious. Look at this vicious. Goodness. Ever so slightly.
Like,
Ever so slightly.
ever so slight. This thing.
Yeah. This thing. Good.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yes, she is going to yell at you. Meow. Gilly.
Open it.
Take her with you. Clearly, she wants your attention. Yes. Goodness. All right. Ren2G says, "Hi Tass, I just joined. Sorry if you've already talked about this, but what 5 vs 5 teams do you suggest for the new tune? All the new era tunes? Yeah, we can talk about that. Let's talk about that right after this. The datacrons for the new tunes show which team comps to use, certainly for the ones that have enough abilities to define a full 5-man. But there are some options. Question mark. Let me get out of this and go in depth. Dead. Almost not dropping. Good. Wrap. Dead. Alright, lads. Get him out of here. Ah, shit. That was a kill. Seeing how much. Damn. Sucks. Yeah. They get just a good chain going, unfortunately. And DTMG. Oh, yeah, that's right. We said we were going to look at a. Sure, we can call the here's files. All right, so let's talk about Bounty Hunter with what's her name, Taj. So you have a couple choices to make. First, to get the fullness out of Asajj, you can't have a tank. You also have to have Boba Fett. Sign of Django is the. So that implies Fennec. Her. I think for the highest form of this team, it seems kind of a no-brainer to throw in Zam. Could prove to be wrong. And then as far as your last option, this is what I mean when you have choices. You want to actually go tankless. A few ways to go, I guess, that are good, but Boba Fett and Forlorn probably the best. I would like to say Forlorn. Thing is that this character I'd like to have with Afra some of the time. Now, you could go like this, you know? If you don't, so let me show you. So it's this bonus protection that you forsake if you have a real tank. That's really your call to make. If you've got enough health baked into these guys, bonus protection's a pain in the ass. Fast enough? Maybe you aren't running for a tank? I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe Dengar has a role to play, like Zam Dengar. The sense that the TMR from Dengar's grenades is still a problem, and then Zam for all the good stats. Yes, this cripples your Boba FDC, so this is one of the options I like least. You know? Scion, Zam, Fennec, Forlom, New Ventress. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the Zam, I think, is like, yes, again, this compromises piece of your Boba FDC team, but I don't think that makes it sacred, you know? Shout out Tass's cat. Yes, that is Miss Tinsel. She is a sweet little thing. She bites when she doesn't get enough pets. So this is an option, but yeah, I don't know. Something like this or like this. Or something like that. Forlom Zuckus, and then if you did Forlom Zuckus, so you lose the bonus protection, you do have a complete team with a tank. You also have an intact Boba Zam Dengar team, so from a balance of resources point of view, this is probably your best spread. You know? You could do that. And then we've talked about some of the other options, right? Let's see. Next up, yeah, Afra, right? So if you've been watching Plotting and Scheming, if you've been talking to Fatal, then you know that there's a real market for health primaries and defense mods on the team these days. I'll show you where I'm at. This is not... I intend to be tweaking this day by day, right up until we lock. Fans know that's what I'm doing most of the time. So I want to say, what is it? I want to say there's something in the kit where she's gaining somebody's kit where anytime somebody's deep getting 5 siphon. Yeah, whenever a dark side ally inflicts a debuff, they gain 5% offense for 1 turn, and Afra gains 5 siphon. So, you know, you could throw in any dark side droid capable of doing target lock, and you'd be okay. In fact, there is an added synergy from the Datacron for target lock. So there is an intelligent argument to be made for IG-88. I might even just throw him in there. I say this, let's take a look at it real quick. You see this IG-90 thing. Whenever IG-90 is dealt damage, reflect 50% of that damage dealt back onto the weakest enemy as true damage, which can't be evaded, and inflicts target lock for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. This damage can't defeat enemies. Whenever IG-90 attacks an enemy with target lock, the healthiest enemy is inflicted with attacks damage over time for 2 turns. Sounds pretty anemic, but then you also take a look at the level 3 and the level 6 with more tie-ins with target lock. Level 3 says, while BT1 is active, 000 is immune to daze and stun. Whenever 000 damages a target-locked enemy, he gains protection up 20%, stacking for 2 turns, 25% turn meter, and inflicts protection disruption for 1, which can't be resisted. So, yep. And then the level 6 for BT1 says percent health damage enemies receive is increased by 100%. So, those dots that you saw down from the level 9, the dots that are naturally done by this team, like when a droid ally is killed, um, apply dots to the enemy that killed it. 1 dot per relic level on the droid that died. So that's a thing. This is doubling that damage, right? Percent health damage enemies receive is increased by 100%. I wonder if that also applies to burning, because BT1 also does that. While 000 is active, BT1 is immune to ability block and stun. Whenever BT1 damages a target locked enemy, he gains protection up 20% stacking for 2 turns, 15% turn meter, and resets 000's cooldowns. So it seems very high priority with this Kron to have target lock on the field. You could also say, oh, Tass, you don't need to have IG-88. It's arguably better to have IPD. Didn't IPD just get a tweak? Sure. I don't have a ton of experience using IPD with this team. I've done it a few times. I've gotten good use of a variety of characters over the years. But if you wanted to tell me that IPD, not only with his buff removal, opportunity to apply target lock, and then his unique further punishing target locked enemies, if you wanted to make that case, I'd say you're onto something. That isn't. Yeah, target locked enemies have minus 25% evasion and can't gain buffs. I'm sure that that's still good. So anyways, as far as how to mod these characters, we talked about this, plotting and scheming, but yeah, health primaries as the setup. I also have a tenacity cross, I want to say. Defense, health throughout. Decent amount of speed ended up getting added because I've cultivated mods that have decent amounts of defense and speed sides. So it's respectable. It's not super duper high. Like this could be closer to 80%, I guess, if it was more purely focused on defense. But he's thick. And what's important to remember is before we look at how the other characters are modded, all dark side droids have plus 50% crit avoidance from that, right? That's full time. Then you're talking about, I want to say, under Afra's lead in 5 versus 5, they have another 50% crit avoidance, something like that. I have to double check. Yeah, 50% crit avoidance. Dark side droids and dark side scoundrel allies. So in 5 versus 5, they're pretty much starting off at 100% CA. It does make it an interesting, potentially worthwhile effort to have all 3 of these characters in crit avoidance. Obviously, that crit avoidance arrow is probably getting a little more value in 3 versus 3 than 5 versus 5, because I feel like with this unique and this active, having them all in CA arrows is a lot. But because you could have them in health primaries instead, which brings us to how the others are set up. And again, this is directly taken from the concept that Tatel's work. So, high health, CA arrow, Relic 10, I did this because she's just one of those characters that's gonna decently well eat up everything that a Relic 10 gives. Plus, the synergy with crit avoidance is pretty nice. So, yeah, you've got... He was talking about the other day that at 75% defense, when you consider... Oh, yeah, I forgot. When you consider that at the start of each encounter, if Afra has less than 50 stacks of siphon, she gains 200% defense. So, as it turns out, when you have 75% defense starting, and then you have this 200% defense added, that ends up hitting the functional crit cap, or sorry, not crit cap, defense cap of 90%. And yeah, that apparently got good results for Fatal in just the 1 week that was available to test it out in 3 versus. But I suspect this is going to be a pain in the ass. Like in metas of the past, when we've had Datacrons propping up Afra, it took something of the likes of JMK to just move past it expeditiously. Everything was either of similar cost or perhaps riskier to execute. Stuff like that. So you have this high defense, and then you also have yeah, all allies gain 100% bonus protection and Dr. Aphra stealths for 2 turns. So the bonus protection for the droids, the bonus protection for her, this is the reason to go to the health primaries to get most advantage out of that. So anyway, back over here. So we know that going into 5 versus 5, yeah, she's going to be up and over 100% critical avoidance, having about 75% armor, all this health, and what she doesn't have in potency, we're actually going to finally make use correct use of how the AI plays this fight. Is it going to summon the droid first, give us potency up, then we're going to do the doubt, right? And then ramp potency from there, so she'll be able to give herself what she needs after that. Rebel RX just raided in with 4 viewers. Thanks for the raid, man. What were you up to? We're just taking questions from the audience. I'm doing TB missions in between. Currently talking about how we're thinking about doing these 5-man teams. Or sorry, yeah, all the 5 versus 5-man teams with just talking about the new era unit got added. So yeah, this high defense with high health set on Aphra with the crit avoidance arrow is going to be cool. This is not finally tweaked yet. I'm not fully confident that I'm done with these numbers, but where we're at right now is really cool. 300 speed, 86,000 health, 70,000 proc, crit damage triangle, 11.8k offense at 83% crit chance, but dig this. I'm thinking about taking him to Relic 10, same as Fatal. I'll be back up over 12k offense where he belongs. He'll be safely over 90% crit chance. He'll gain even more health protection. I want to say, yeah, that damage, armor penetration, yep. Minor amounts of armor, surely. And yet, crucially, another 10% crit avoidance. And if you're not going directly after Aphra first, BT1 is generally the priority target. So trying to bulk this guy out in terms of having 3 health, 2 health primaries, crit damage triangle, and crit avoidance arrow. Trying to do all this while maintaining a respectable amount of crit chance, decent speed, and then still trying to get some, sense at all anywhere. I could throw him in a 2-piece of defense that would have him closer off towards 69% armor, but I would have crit chance plummet. It would be like 67%. And honestly, Fatal, I think, is willing to commit into almost a full tank build on BT1. I don't know that it's bad, but to my gut, for going into week 1 with no data to support us either way yet, I just can't give up my feeling like I want to be able to rely on critically striking. This guy has served me so well over the years, clobbering teams. And yeah, I think the concessions I've made for him to have the crit avoidance arrow, keep the speed and all this, I think it does kind of require me to slap on the Relic 10, but I think that's going to be the next one. I didn't think it was going to be this one a few days ago, but I'm increasingly convinced that he's worth the effort. 000, I did just likewise overhaul for health primaries. Still kept the same speed of theme of speed. He used to have quite a bit more offense. I left that on the table to pick up as much armor as I could through secondaries here. That's what I'm up to. Suffering on a speed run attempt? What were you trying to speed run? All right. Let me check up with some of the comments here. Which tune needs a rework? I know we still have to talk about the other teams, but I can't leave chat alone forever, right? Which tune needs a rework the most to become relevant again? I mean, there's a whole bunch of that I think are kind of intended to be starter or disused. Like, if I told you I'm a Gundai, how badly do you want to see I'm a Gundai? Where do you want to see Amagunda? Be amazing. I guess like he goes with Queen or something. I don't know. But like, Kit Fisto would be cool though. I respect him. Back in the day when Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron was new tech, having multiple Galactic Republic Jedi physical damage AoEs able to pop off one after the other. Nice. All right, Saldag, how goes the stream test? Fun so far. Talking shop, you know how it is. Yeah, you love IPD. Megan says, evening task is Maul hate-fueled, wanting 3 health sets. We will talk about him in just a moment because we are going through kind of plans with the era tune, right? Cover that. Reds fan asks, what's your favorite weird mod that is in your mod collection? Accuracy arrow, defense, offense, cross, etc. Oh, I mean, it's gonna be tough because there's a few that really rank pretty high on my list. But one of the ones that had set on the back row, I told myself if I was ever gonna spend 150 calibration map on a single mod, it was gonna be trying to get this a bad slice of crit chance to roll onto this 4 roll 20 speed. I wanted it to roll that last slice of 5, and then it did. And I had kept this. I kept this like on my back burners. Like I had it still marked in my favorites, and every time I'd see it, it looked like a just a thumb in my eye because it's like the only reason it's there is to remind me that if I ever find myself in a position where I've got 150 calibrates that have not other calibration materials that have not otherwise burned a hole in my pocket, this was the one. And that day did come, and we got lucky, and I'll never forget this mod. All right, back on task. Back to talking about using the Era Squad. All right. So who's next? Rebels, I guess, is kind of easy. I personally don't have big plans for using the Rebels because Leia, for me, I think I'm mostly going to keep as an offensive team this coming season, or at least for the first week. That's my suspicion. However, I am aware of several players that are having, the mindset of where's my cat? Probably mod the one. This one and then this. So like this. And I think they're planning on using it on offense as opposed to Radisson Jin. Maybe. Especially if you have the focus Datacron. Maybe. But I personally don't think I'll be using these two and the focus Datacron in the sense of using it with these characters. Like, I have the Cron, I'm probably going to use it for its stats somewhere. But I'm not realistically thinking about doing this myself. Nevertheless, if you're going to see these two used in 5 vs 5, most likely in this way. All right. Oh, visitors. Interesting. So, the level 3 on the Inquisitor's Focus Datacron is the 9th Sister ability that used to be a level 9. So for that reason, hear me out. I really don't think you can part with these 4. These 3 are obviously your core for 3 versus 3. Fifth Brother is an AoE enemy dispel. Like, it's kind of irreplaceable for what you're trying to do for this team. And you can fight any which way you want for this 5th spot. You can say it's 8th. You want to keep it traditional and have your follow-up AoE to follow up after Fifth Brother, right? That's always been a classic and powerful combo. Marok has been great for stopping, Phoenix from defense, but not in every meta. However, the 9th Sister, with that level 3 ability from the Focus Datacron, definitely stops up Phoenix. Did last time. So I think I might do this if I'm inclined to put them on defense. which means that I am using the Xeris Datacron. I don't think that I'm going to use Xeris. The Xeris level 9 does do true damage, and I stopped to consider maybe this offers enough of potential damage threat somehow. He gets to act on it. Because she is gaining turn meter from a couple different spots, right? And if that's somehow enough to push her on the same way that Marok pushes on the rest of the Inquisitors, she's able to kill somebody, then we're off to the races with that true damage. Otherwise, I think it would be like this. And again, let me show you this. At the start of each encounter, if 9th sister and 2nd sister are allies. Ooh, yeah, so that's the thing. I forgot about that. That means you'd have to drop 5th brother, right? I don't know if it's worth all this, but let's take a look. If 9th sister and 2nd sister... Oh, 9th and 2nd. Never mind. The level 9's not worth pursuing. It's not worth pursuing. This is a 3 versus 3 teams level 9. Like, you're not going to have 9th and 2nd and Inquisitor Barris. Like, you're not going to have 7th sister on the team. That's not happening. So, thank you for attending my TED Talk. Yeah. Nobody's doing that. All right. Next, DVDE. Yeah. Okay, sure. So, I've definitely spruced these up a little bit. Let me show you what I've done. Set him up to 301. Kept the potency reasonably high. Still with 4 protection primaries, so he's sitting pretty strong. 95,000 prot. That's before the 50 bonus. Very nice. And he is at 301 speed precisely because I just want to make sure that all else being equal, he would go ahead of Darth Vader. And also spoil, so Darth Vader's 3. We'll go over the rest of his stats in a second here. She's 360. I still kept her in the accuracy arrow that I had since I was doing the EP Star Killer thing. So found a couple mods to speed her up. 360 is, I feel, plenty fun. I wish her potency were a little bit higher, but we're still getting 35% from EP lead, so I'll live with it. Anyway, so the script is she's gonna go first, then EP, then Darth Vader. And Darth Vader, I want to say, AI use this first? Hope it does. Because the underlying theory is... Yeah, it's off this. Yeah. When he gets his... whenever Vader takes burning damage, and the only burning damage he can take is the burning he starts with, okay? And he's going to have it all battle long. So basically what it's saying is every time he takes a turn, all Empire allies gain 20% offense, stacking, max of 300%, until the end of battle, and 10% turn meter. This effect persists through defeat. So, having him go last means that you're getting the most possible value out of that 10% value, 10% turn meter coming back at you. I guess another way to look at it is that if I somehow made him faster than the other two, he could be the pull-up to bring them up. But I don't see a situation that I'm actually going to make him faster than Mara Jade. So I think I'm playing it the right way. Anyways, so obviously this is your core 3, and then you have some options. The Datacron, I say, specifically calls out Royal Guard. I think that's great because definitely going to handle your... I want to say it makes him... Check that in a sec. The other character they say to throw in is Tarkin, but let's check our homework on that. So at the start of Royal Guard's turn, dispel all debuffs on them. They recover 5% health and spell this way. It's okay. It's not effectively granting pre-taunt, right? So I think you may want to consider, if you were going to set this on defense, that you're going to want to have Shore Trooper instead, or Shore Trooper and this. Let's take a look at Tarkin. Whenever Grand Moff Tarkin damages an enemy, shock that enemy for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. This is actually kind of incredible. Grand Moff Tarkin is going to feed so much turn meter in through it just ordinarily. Him just ramping potency is going to make him a reasonable damage threat course of the fight. But him just doing in anything and that applying shock and that feeding into the rest of what we do here, that's fantastic, because I want to say it's something good happens when he hits people with shock. So we're on this, it's feeding into what we're already trying to do. Whenever an enemy is defeated by EP, that enemy can't be revived. Not the biggest deal, but since you're giving it to me, I'll keep it in mind, because this guy's taking turns all the time. How many times have you been using him just to spread debuffs instead of killing somebody because it was more useful to spread the debuffs? Now you can actually kill somebody with peace of mind. I don't know. All right, Mara Jade. At the start of each other ally's turn, Mara Jade gains an additional stack of Loyal Hand until the end of the encounter. Whenever an ally with less than 100% turn meter gains bonus turn meter, like all Empire allies will be every time DVD takes a turn, they gain 2% crit chance and crit damage, stacking maximum of 100% until the end of the encounter. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with shock, like buy anything in EP's kit, by Tarkin, they take damage equal to 5% of their max health. This damage can't defeat enemies. Okay. And then whenever an enemy attacks out of turn, TVD takes a bonus. TVD can't be defeated if Emperor Palpatine is active. Disgusting. I think Fatal's planning to do full defense mods, probably for protection primaries if we're being real, on Palpatine, and that's an enviable idea. I'm kind of stressed on my defense mods these days. Alright. At the start of his turn, if DV has less than 25% health, gains T health, offense, active ally. Yeah, so I feel like I actually very much like Tarkin here. I don't know that I've ever said that seriously about an EP team. Yeah, I think the only real substitution I would think about is just Shore Trooper, so that you have a pre-taunt. Otherwise, this could be some type of danger. And then, yeah, of course, your danger team. So we'll talk about the Spider Mall modding now. Talk about where I'm at with the modding on general. Now, of course, if you have the FDC, this is the quote-unquote recommended comp. I know that there are people that are going to debate whether or not they want to have Visas Mar here or OG Cal. I don't think you'd be out of your mind to go either way. Week one, nobody knows for sure. But you do have, I guess before we talk about the modding, let me go again with the Datacron, what we're looking at mechanically. So yeah, whenever Visas Mar revives an ally, she resets the cooldowns of all other allies. Death Mark, the weakest enemy for 2 can't be resisted. And if Maul Hate Fueled is an active ally, he takes a bonus turn. It's all nice stuff that happens if and only if an ally dies. Whereas, OG Cal might help us just not have anybody die between OG Cal there and Xeris. Now, with Xeris, it says revive from allies can't be prevented. So that is specifically valuable for having Visas on the team. And if they're trying to permakill your Spider Maul, who can otherwise revive with hatred. So this will protect him and make sure that he can come back. But anyway, whenever an enemy is inflicted with daze, shock, or vulnerable, all allies recover 10% health and protection, and the weakest ally gains perfect defense for 2 turns. Pretty nasty. I don't think this team really wants to be without her. Starkiller level 9 makes this just savage. Whenever an ally uses an ability on their turn, Starkiller assists, limit once per turn, dealing 10% more damage. If they just said, dealing 100% normal damage, not any amount more, I would be delighted. Any amount more feels gratuitous because this team already has Starkiller popping off and dropping the ship very quickly. It does not need a lot of help with that, and this is a lot of help with that. All right. Bonus mechanics for the stranger. Whenever the stranger is healed by an ally or attacks on a turn, he gains 5 speed. Oh my god, more speed attacking. Whenever the stranger uses basic ability and damages a stunned or shocked enemy, reduce the cooldown of what was that its name? By 1. Stranger is immune to daze. And then Maul's mechanic. Whenever an enemy takes damage from bleed, Maul gains 2 stacks of Edge of Madness and 5% turn meter. If Maul has 50 or more stacks of Edge of Madness, whenever he uses his basic ability, he inflicts ability block on target enemy for 1 turn, which... Okay. Gonna happen... Well, that really depends on how much focus. Whenever he gains a stack of Edge of Madness, he also gains 1% max health stacking until the end of battle. At 100 stacks of Edge of Madness, Maul's basic attacks inflict buff immunity for 1 turn. Okay. Now that we've looked at this, let's talk real quick about Maul's modding. Let's also check the chat real quick. Ren was saying, I was thinking about putting Barriss and Ninth Sister with Seer, Malicos, Maul, and then Lucan, Leia, Chew, 3PO. Okay, yeah, I forgot about the Wookiees. I still have to do those, so... Oh. Yeah, I don't know. What level of the game are you playing in right now, Ren2G? Because I don't feel like the Luke Lead team is something that I expect is going to have a spot on a Kyber 1 board. That's kind of my gut feeling about it. Now watch me see it and watch me just eat dirt. Yeah?
You like eating that dirt, don't you, boy?
What's going on, Ranger? Good to see you.
Not much, man. Just coming in to see how you're doing. I saw you were streaming. I was eating dinner. I didn't have a chance to come in right away, but I've been here for a bit. I've just been letting you cook, doing your thing. But want to come and say thank you for the hat donation yesterday.
Yes.
We hit over 10,000 for the ACS again, and raised a lot of money. And yeah, so appreciate that.
Did you decide what the reward tier was that gets the hat?
I think we're doing the hat now. I think we hit the goal, so the hat will be a giveaway we do when we do our big giveaway stream.
Oh, okay.
We hit all the goals last night.
So everything's already met. Okay, yeah, because I'm gonna bust out a Sharpie and I'm gonna sign this where the winner wants it, and we'll send this out. So that's how I decided to do this, guys. If you guys weren't here a couple streams ago, when I went to Disney World earlier this year, I had this hat and wore it exactly like an hour one morning going onto a ride with my family, and I lost it immediately on that very first ride of the morning. It was like before it was 9 a.m., I'd already lost my hat in Orlando, Florida, having to walk under, the pounding sun. So anyways, I assumed it was lost, but I nevertheless made the claim with the lost and found. And they found it and they sent it back. So I had ended up buying another one. So this is the Maul hat that I wear here on stream. And this one showed up in the mail a few weeks later. It is pristine. It is pretty. I guess it does have a little punch there. That's okay.
Okay, I need to correct myself. We have not hit the goal yet for the hat. Finn, I guess he put it as we're $1,400 away from the hat, which is the final number we're raising for the year, 11,500. But it is now on the Tilts 5 page. So I thought we were giving away that last night. So my bad, my correction. So
that's okay.
Finn put in a different spot. So.
You should have made it a bidding war.
Let's raise some more money.
You should have made it a bidding war. A once in a lifetime opportunity to have a Tassenix gaming hat signed by Tassenix.
That's right. I will create a bidding war. Yes.
Right, well, we'll put this back.
2 men enter, 1 man leave.
While we wait to find out. And remember, if you do enter that, I guess you wouldn't call it a raffle. You just don't donate. But
it's kind of both, but I mean it's a raffle. It's part of the giveaway prizes we do, right? The goal we hit last night was we will be getting a really awesome X-Men artwork signed by the voice actors at MegaCon that did the X-Men cartoon.
Very nice.
And that'll be one of the prizes. So yeah, that's what we do, and it's because this awesome community we're able to do this kind of stuff.
Fantastic. Talking about the 9th and the Inquisitor Barriss, somebody mentioned in the chat, and I remember a couple of my patrons mentioned this earlier today, so Sorry that I actually forgot about that, but yes. Now that you
Now that
Dear
you said bird.
Malicos Cow. Like to get then you. So the thing is, I love having Cal here. And if you're gonna have Thesis and Xeris, where I was saying with the Stranger team, this looks like a nice allocation of resources. I like this very much as an offensive team because on Ninth's first turn, I'll have her put up Taunt. She won't do that until her second turn naturally. She will only otherwise ever passively taunt if an Inquisitor, or I think it's they say an Empire. Each time another Empire ally is damaged by a critical hit, she gains taunt and 50% critical avoidance for one turn. Blah 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 blah. So if they crit Varys, then great, she'll taunt. Otherwise, yeah, you have to get her to her second turn. So I wouldn't set this on defense, but I might consider this for offense. And then that does mean that you would have your full proper Inquisitor team to use as usual, which I would probably say I still use. So that's a fair idea. I think that's worth making a note of.
Very smart.
All right. What about Shore Trooper and Piet instead of Tarkin and Royal Guard? Piet is really cool. Piet is a great character to throw in instead of Tarkin. I do want. It really depends on how well you built your Tarkin, of course. I think a lot of us are accustomed to having a better built Piet, but I like mine here. Just under 300 speed. Reasonably high potency, tons of special crit chance is what I was also really wanting, and some offense. So in my case, because I put in some pretty good care into this guy, I think he could be a brute here with that team. I would not begrudge you using Piet instead. So not at all a bad idea. All right, Ben Grogu, what do you think about Stranger Team without Maul, without Spider Maul? Sure. I mean, what else are we talking about? You're saying also not having the FDC, so using a Datacron like last season? Probably Healer Crown with Xeris, right? That was kind of the meta thing to do, and it's painful, annoying to deal with. Throw in OG Ball, something like that. I guess you'd be playing it largely how you were probably playing it at the end of the last 5 vs. 5. Yes. Catch up and see. Yeah, that was a good catch, Ren 2G.
Yes.
All right. I think we caught that. All right, and as far as the Wookiees, yeah, this is another team. So yeah, Ren, you did say you're in like 3900s Kyber 1. If you're planning on setting Stormtrooper Luke, you'd be surprised. Aren't we talking about you not having a bunch of stuff active? The 3 versus boosted Grand Arenas, and there is an ally Princess Stormtrooper on and no enemy galactic legends. So I guess it's not explicitly 3 versus 3. Neither is Leia's thing. I guess it's not. All right, let's see. Oh. Well, let's grab the 3 and make sure that we got them. Now, who was saying? You were going to say Luke, Han, Leia, Chupio, and C-3PO. Characters I'm not getting a ton of use out of these days, admittedly. CLS is usually like a cleanup duty level team. Or if it's one of the rare teams that you can just brap out. Those are few and far between these days, so who I would commit. Let's think about who goes on that Wookiee team. The Tarful, the new Chewie unit, I would assume. Let's also assume that you've got the Focus Datacron. So Clone Wars Chewbacca actually looks pretty neat on this version of the team. Zalbar, of course, you might fret about it a bit, whether or not you want to have a Tarful team or a DRZ team in 3 versus 3, but you have no excuse to not give Tarful over to 5 versus 5. And that leaves you one spot. If you were to part out the team, as you say here, with C-3PO and Chewpio, then you could give proper Chewbacca Tarful. Who's more important? Wouldn't Chewie on this team be a riot? Well, the best application side of Wookiees would be. Oh shit. Why not Han Chewie? First of all, is there something that... No enemy galactic? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Why not Han Chewie? That is a legitimate question. Especially if we're going to cannibalize Chewbacca. So let's think about what we're doing here. The thinnest of characters I can probably easily engineer to have it be Princess Leia, in which case Chewbacca could be nice. Is he otherwise already making them immune or something ridiculous like that? Whenever a rebel ally is dazed or stunned, dispel that effect, distract and inflict protection disruption. And so no, there's no reason to actually specifically focus on having Chewie here. I was thinking about the value of that. So maybe it is better to have that effect. It wouldn't be active without regardless. Yeah. 2PO C3PO, we can run your idea just as a starting point here, Ren2G, and just put this on paper. The one thing I do very much like about 2PO being here is that it helps address one of the major weaknesses of it, which is virtually no AoE, right? Not a terrible idea. Why does mine say, while in 3v3 Grand Arena? Well, first of all this does depend on this being this way. My understanding is this should be a 3 versus 3 only Omicron. I don't remember this being billed as something that works in 5s. So if it indeed ends up being active in 5s, we've got something. This could be kind of fun to play around with, but I really was. Correction, it was just 3s only. If it ends up being 3s, I stand by my original position. I shouldn't use it for anything. Anyway, kind of a neat idea, but I personally don't think this exists for me. But I appreciate teasing it out. Last, let's grab the Wookiees. I have the new. Gotta have. Oh, well, shit, I forgot all about him. Gotta have Clone Wars for reason. Maybe we don't need Chewbacca? Maybe that's saved for like a Dash Han Chewie type of thing. I would think that it'd be cool to have like Vet Han and Vet Chewie together. going on? Yeah, gotta have Zalbar here. That's indisputable. Really only have one left. Big man. Who's the big man gonna secure here? Either Tarful or the Yoke. How is this? Good chance. 20%. Something like 26. Not the worst. So, not impossible to look at. Somehow I would expect most everybody else around. Okay. Or choose, probably. Maybe really wants a run. Let's just go with you. Put it like that. There's my verdict. Initial 5 team. Well, yeah, the Stormtrooper Luke thing is Ren 2G's idea, and we discussed it. I don't know that I'll really be seeing it myself. In fact, let me put it at the bottom of the list that way. But aside from that, the rest of these are feasible teams that I might expect to see some form or fashion. One. Really, really looking forward to the after team. So, good question. Good question. Go over all that. Get back to a TB.
Yay. How you doing, Taz?
Oh, hey, how you doing, troopers?
Yeah, I did want to interrupt your theory crafting.
Yeah. Well, what's up? How you doing, man? Good to see you.
I'm doing better. I'm doing better. So
Yeah.
day by day,
What's going
we're
on?
working. Work the usual. Wow, just getting ready for good old MegaCon. Ranger and his guys are helping me get ready for that stuff. So I'm very excited about that. And now I'm gearing up for GAC as well.
Yeah.
But I did have a question for you regarding Maul in
Mhm.
5v5.
Yep.
People were saying Quad May could be a counter. Do you see that being a possibility?
So Queen Amidala was able to defeat quite a few stranger teams, including mine, with the focus Datacron, maxed out in 3 versus. However, like Sasha Aisha's held to a queen, um, where he had an especially high amount of defense, like defense offense set on Starkiller, and then like defense and health sets on Stranger, and
Mhm.
full health modding. Full health. Oh yeah, somebody asked how I mod my mall. I never actually looked at that on screen. And somebody else just asked, Zuckus with Asajj, doesn't her kid say she hates tanks in her team? Yeah, when I was building out this team on screen earlier, I was talking about that. How I do think that if you do instead of Zuckus Forlom, if you do like Zam Dengar, Zam Forlom, then you get the bonus protection that comes out of Asajj's. Um, if you're okay with forsaking that, then you might be okay just having a tank. So to cover either case, I made mention. It's up to you.
Mhm.
All bounty hunter, all other non-galactic legend and non-tank bounty hunter allies gain disciples. So yeah, you would have the tank not getting disciple, which leaves a little money on the table. But again, it depends. Like if you set the team on defense without a tank, and there's no other gimmick that forces them to juggle their attention, no other forced taunt or something like that, no damage immunity game to play with it or something. It just feels like it's a team that is for offense only, and you need that. You feel like you're short on offense only teams because if you set it on defense without it, it just feels like it's going to take ever so slightly longer for me to do what I was going to do anyway and just kill the team. So I wish it weren't so. I just don't. I just don't know. Maybe they do enough damage here with Asajj that I'll eat crow, and they're just beating the brakes off anything without a tank. In which case, yeah, like Zam Forlum, Zam Dengar, Zam Boba sounds hideous. I have a very fast Zam, and she's going to hand out a lot of stats for that team. So that's an exciting idea to potentially set it without a tank and just see, okay, fine. I mean, you can target whoever you like, but what do you want to do? Obviously, the first thing they're going to do is go kill my Zam, who die, and then all of her stats leave with her. So again, I don't know. All over the place on it. You bought the Stick75 says you bought the Darth Bane bundle and was wondering if, in your opinion, was it worth the $37?
Oh yeah, I
Right?
do.
Is it even in the store for me? I
It won't
have.
show for us. We already have it. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
so I
I took
can't
a
see
look
I
it.
at
don't
it.
see the Bane one. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have Bane, you won't see it
what was in
if you've
it?
got him
What
up.
was in it?
No, well, if you're below the relic level, even if you have Bane, if it's below, because I have Dark Trooper Moff Gideon unlocked, I have him at Gear 1, it still shows me the pack.
Right, if he's Relic 6 or higher, which if you have Bane unlocked, usually you want him Relic 6 or
Oh,
higher.
yeah, Bane. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you get Bane, a very, very powerful character for Relic 6, 7-star.
Relic 6,
That's a
yeah.
lot.
Relic 6, 7 stars,
That's
ability level 7. His is
yeah,
7.
I think that's a pretty damn good deal. I don't there's another one in there for Dark Trooper Gideon,
Yes,
Moff
there is.
Gideon.
And his are up to ability level 8. I have that one available to me.
I don't know if that one is as worth it. I mean,
No.
it's a great character, but the Bane one, in my opinion, I think is really good deal because we've seen what Bane is capable of, and he can take on a lot of shit. It's ridiculous.
And
High
he's the
level
best
shit too.
bang per buck because you're not building a team around him. You just pair him with a random Sith, right?
I
Yeah,
think so. But
yeah. I can't tell you how much $37 is worth it to you, but having the ability, when you see somebody put Slacker on defense, you're thinking, ah, shit. Well, I hope I have JMK, or maybe I can try and chance it with JML, but things are dicey in a post Dre world. Uh, you could rest with a clear mind, knowing that I have Bane, and I'm just going to use two abilities, and their entire team's going to be gone, and that's going to be that mischief managed. So,
so good.
But Taz, I do want to go back to the Quadme thing because
oh yeah, sorry,
I'm
please,
looking
yes.
at the kit. No, you're good. You were answering your viewers'
I
questions. That's
still
why I
didn't
didn't
fucking show
interrupt.
them all mods. God damn it!
You still haven't shown them all.
Go
Do the
on.
mall mods first. Do the mall mods first, and then I'll
Well,
give my
no, this is the
thoughts.
time to ask because I'm stuck doing a mission for a minute.
Okay. Well, what I'm seeing is because first thing, the handmaiden is you're not. It's not like a revive mechanic. She's summoning the handmaiden whenever she uses that ability, right? So like
Yeah,
any
it's
anti-revive
creating a new
mechanic
unit. It's
is
not
not.
reviving any.
Yeah, it's a completely new unit, so you're not worried about that. And then there's so many variants that you can look at. You can go to the Grandmaster Yoda variant or an Echo from Bad Batch. You can put Barris in there, right? Though a lot of people are probably gonna have Barris with Maul and the FDC, with the Stranger, right? But there's just so many variants. I'm just looking at it and I'm like looking at possible, and I'm like, there's gonna be one or two variants that are gonna counter that Maul team.
Well, so I was saying that if it was the case for most people that in 3 versus 3 the focus datacron did not provide enough survivability to stop Queen from getting through, then you would largely expect that to not be the case in fives, except it depends. Like, this is why I want to slap a bunch of defense onto my Visas and to my Xeris, because until you kill the Visas, you can't really deal with anybody else, and you whatever your permakill solution is, you're going to have to kill um, Spider Ball, all 3 times, right? Because you can't prevent
Mm-hmm.
Hatred from reviving. So
Right.
I don't know. I think that there is a better chance with the full team's mechanics available that Stranger could put up a better fight to Queen. My instinct
Mm-hmm.
is that Queen will probably still be able to get the job done if you don't have a lot of defense on your Stranger and your Star Killer. Significant amount. Doesn't have. They don't have to. Like, if you look at my Stranger, he's pretty much built like a tank with a crit damage triangle, whereas my Star Killer still has significant amount of offense. I can definitely go and show.
Yeah.
But
But I'm like looking at like if you put Mace in there to like start crippling them using that shatter point, right? And then maybe you put Yoda in, right, for the foresight, or you put in a healer there, right?
well,
I could see
the thing
that.
is we'll see how it plays out. But the way that fight worked in 3 versus 3 was got Padawan Obi-Wan to his first turn, and hopefully you had it set up where Qui-Gon was able to go just ahead and charge up. Use the third to charge up Padawan Obi-Wan,
Hmm.
and then you do your one swipe with Padawan Obi-Wan, and hopefully some number, if not all of them, are dead. And if it didn't go exactly that way, you lost the fight, right? So as
Yeah.
far as all this, take advantage of all the stuff that Grandmaster does and getting value out of multiple shatter points and stuff, that's all going to be win harder to me, in my opinion. If that stuff makes any
Agree.
difference, it's after other things have already happened that have stabilized the fight for you, that made it
Hmm.
safe for you to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like that's going to
No,
be
yeah, I'm on
determinant.
board. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be like, oh, okay, so we didn't get everybody out, we got these people out. All
yeah,
right, this is where they need to step up.
something.
No, but yeah. But
In
my thing,
G.
Taz, is the thing is if the mall team gets rolling, I with my testing that I've been doing personally, and like my speed isn't even the best, it could be much better. Star Killer, even after one turn, right? He's getting the ultimate. He gets that bonus turn. It's a
Yep.
bonus turn, right? And so he's gonna hit that ultimate really fast, especially with 5 characters on that team. He's gonna be getting more assists, which means he's gonna be ramping up and building that ultimate up quicker. And I want to see how the Quadmate team can handle that.
Yeah. If it, my suspicion is after Boom, after Padawan Obi-Wan's Boom, people aren't gone. That's all she wrote. That I really think that's what it's going to be. I don't think there's going to be all this cutesy. Oh well, we'll see when we get back around to his next set of cooldowns. I don't think that happens. Now,
Yeah, because once Star Killer hits that ultimate, like I know it's like even after that boom, if Star Killer hits that ultimate in that battle, you're done, and you get and like you said, you get one shot. I think in 5v5 especially because of how much he's going to be ramping up that ultimate, how fast that's going to happen.
and yeah, and that
Right.
would be a problem if that ability did not exist, right?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm saying how fast it's going to happen
No,
now is making it
I'm
so
saying
much
the Star
scarier.
Killer ability on the Focus Datacron, where he's going to be assisting after anytime any of his allies doing anything.
Hmm.
So he's going to pop
Yeah.
off like almost twice as fast. It's going to be outrageous.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right, we finished the fight. The DTMG deal came with 1 Omicron and all of his Zetas. Yeah, I don't know if that's worth it to you.
Yeah.
He's
Remember mall mods.
yes. All right, let's go ahead and talk about these guys real quick. So, Maul first, since he's been long awaited. Now, there are people out there that have 4 health primaries on this guy and don't have quite 150,000 health. So, I will tell you right now, in 6 health mods, that some of these have some really crazy secondaries to have this kind of number because that isn't 150,000 with 4 health primaries. That's with 3. That's a crit damage triangle. He's 300 speed. He's got 73,000 prot. He's also got almost 10.3k offense and 62% crit chance. But remember, hatred is 25% crit chance. So we're sitting at 86%. And then you have to also recall that he when this web of descent starts popping off, first hatred is 100% offense just for being on him. So that's an effect. 50% offense from web of descent 1, and then another 100% when he hits web of descent 3. So 250% defense, sports fans. 10 where did I did the math on that either. 10.3k, 10,273 offense times 3.5 is 35,955 offense when he's in Web of Descent 3 having a crit damage triangle. It's going to hurt you. Now, there's also something that I mentioned in the last plotting and scheming that I thought was kind of neat. If you have him full tank, surely he will keep himself marked for the most possible time in a fight. Surely that is the case. When he gets lower health and he doesn't have that extra health primary, the possibility exists that that forced mark might pass to another ally. I had just so happened to notice that in squad arena testing where Starkiller was the next strongest, right? And what's funny is by the time the enemy beats down Maul to the point that he's in Web of Descent 3 and he's low enough to pass the taunt over to Starkiller. This is already after Starkiller's unleashed, dropped the ship. So the force taunt is on him. They have to hit him. He's going to answer back with an AoE unleashed basic that's going to hurt a ton. So I thought that was kind of neat. So you can kind of control. That's a way to think about it. Is the more health primaries you have on him, the longer you would delay that possibly happening, but it's kind of neat to maybe lean into a little later in the fight. I think that's kind of fun, especially if you put some defense on the Starkiller where he can better take a punch and he's unleashed. All right. Anyway, here's how Stranger's set up right now. It's just a modification on the setup that I had him in last season. So he started off about 270. I have since increased the speed up and over 300. Without really compromising anything else. Just finding better mods. I kept everything else pretty much the same. Crit damage triangle, over 110,000 health, 64,000 prot. Just over 8,000, almost 8,100 offense, 92% crit chance, 70% armor. So that's with 16.8% added. You can, of course, go higher if you had more defense sets. I've had to push and pull these around, but I'm making the most use out of them that I can. And then Starkiller's mods. Yeah, so this is offense, defense, 106,000 health, 291 speed, crit damage triangle, 11.3k offense, 99% crit chance, and 61.6 armor. It's only 11.8% armor added, but it is much better than nothing. It is much better than not having a 2-piece of defense. That's all the better I've been able to do so far. This is going to continuously get tweaked all the way up to Grand Arena Lock. Please believe that. It wants a mission that
They love you.
Hmm.
Yeah, my guild had the same thing. They want a Spectre there too. I was like, okay, maybe they want to
Eh.
use different shit, different places. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't know, man. Anyway, let's drop this in. Get that moving. Yeah, if you were otherwise a long ways away from Bane sticks, if you're saying like you were probably 1.5 years away from earning him, I would pay $37 to step that far into the future. Yeah.
Fly in the future.
Dances with Ewok says, with all these characters at once, it made me realize how poor my mod depth is. I think a lot of people got bit by that, and I got strained by it. I ended up having enough mods,
Same.
but I was
Mhm.
strained and stressed and having to reprioritize mods, and then characters that have been like 300 to 320 for years, I had to settle for being like 280, 290, stuff like that, just to make sure everybody had enough to go around. And I would say that yes, this new thing with the era system, you get no marquee, no marquee, no marquee, no all the marquees all at once.
Yeah.
You really have to have that discipline for your mod farming to keep on it, because there'll feel like a time where you're not having these characters, so you're drawn to improve mods on characters that are already high priority for you. Whereas you really just need to be producing enough number of mods, because it's gonna sneak up on you every few months, and that I can't let that happen to me twice like that. So we're all in the same boat in that sense.
Well, Taz, I did take a unique approach on my mall mods,
Yeah,
different from everybody else.
yeah.
So we listen and we don't judge, remember?
I mean, we listened.
Okay, okay, sure.
You can judge,
Sure.
just judge fairly.
Yeah, just, all right, I know I'm going to get judged, but I want to be judged so that people learn from me. But it's the way I want to mod them, right?
That's right. And I'm not your real dad, and you don't have to do what I say.
Well, basically, my mall is at 102,000 health, and he's at 299 speed. But I put an offense set on him, right?
Yeah.
And his physical damage is at 11,172. And then I have a little bit of potency added to him.
Well, I thought about offense set with health two piece, and I saw that
Mm-hmm.
you can push him up pretty high. You can push him up like 12K, up and over 12K, which is cool. But yes, for the kind of health figure that you cite, I think that that's leaving too much money on the table, because in addition to all the other bonuses like the doubling of the health from Star Killer, whatever else you've got going on, remember that he's going to gain 25% health per dark side ally at battle start. So whether that's in threes or
Mm-hmm.
fives, that's going to be 50% health, right?
Yeah.
So I would recommend looking into that. By the way, guys, I failed to mention this earlier. I should have said so. A couple folks on my Discord ran the math and found that technically protection primaries
Mhm.
break ever so slightly harder for Maul than health primaries. And when I say ever so slightly, I'm talking about something where it adds up being like 2K added life total per primary. So maximum of 8K, double it with Star Killer, call it 16,000 life. So as far as absolutely getting the most, protection does seem to be the way. It also so happens that for me, I have health primaries with better secondaries for what I want out of Spider Mall than I do in
Mm-hmm.
protection. So I do not think here for the time being I plan on switching back to protection primaries. But if any of you guys really want to get the absolute most life total, um,
Well, and Taz, the thing that you also need to remember, not even without the Omicron, Maul's also going to gain 100% critical damage and max health and 100% max health until the first time Star Killer is defeated, which remember, Visas can
that's what I meant by the
then
doubling of his
revive him.
health and protection.
Yeah. Yeah, and crit damage though. So that's why I'm saying that's why with my offense, I'm thinking that's going to be really scary. And he's really like he's 300 with being that thick, right?
Yeah, it's just consider this. Me having the 150k health and the focus datacron in 3 versus 3 got swiped out by an opponent's Queen Amidala for 57 banners. That's with 150,000 health. You follow where I'm going?
Yeah, I'm
Uh-huh.
following.
So if I'm too thin, you are grievously too thin. And that was where I was going to go was if the focus datacron very quickly proves to be a dud in 5s as far as like a defensive application, as it did in 3s, then don't be surprised when people are going to go right back to setting Zeruskron or Attacker. Because Attacker was what people were doing in 3s. There might be some merit to trying it. Got 3 really nasty attackers on there. And remember, with you've got anti-revive now all in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like if it isn't the FTC, it's probably the Zero Scrum, being honest.
Mm. Yeah.
High health though would be the key. That's what ended up being more damaging in 3s, right? The FTC was kind of a dud because it only has 40% health on it, whereas you can be up over 110% health with a high health stacked attacker crown. That was nasty. Nasty bit of work.
Oh yeah.
Well,
What I
and
had.
what my thought process also is, Taz, and again, this is for everybody to learn. We do
We
judge
do judge. We
fairly.
listen and we do judge.
Is especially with Maul's AoE, right? Because that's going to be a big play, especially because you're removing 60% Terminator from enemies, and then your dark side attackers, Stranger and Starko, are gaining 60% Terminator. But that's where he's going to get that. He's going to get that crit damage up and offense up for 2 turns, but that's an AoE, right?
Yeah,
so
it
if
is.
I have high damage on that, right, then that could cripple out some of those weaker links, like that.
So are you talking about
right?
using this team almost exclusively on offense?
I'm thinking about offense right now.
Well, in that case, I think that you've got a pretty strong case for the way that you're choosing Autumn, because I feel like the lower health is only a liability on defense.
But offense, I think, if for like using them to attack, I think offense would be.
Yeah,
because you get that blitz damage, you get the weak links out, like the healers, the annoying supports, right? And then you can focus down.
I hear
on
what
the
you're
tanks.
saying. I hear what you're saying. I think long term, I think it would be better to go with some type of more survivable setup. You can see that I went with health. There are some people that are swearing by going with defense mods here as well, with 4 health primaries, not even the crit damage triangle. I do think that there's a place for the crit damage triangle. I also see the value of the high offense, but consider that it would take time to put the set together. But consider like what I have with the 150,000 health and 10.3k offense, right? And you're at 11k, something like that.
Yeah, I'm at 11.1k.
Yeah, 11. All right, so you've got like 800 offense on me, and that amount would get multiplied times 3.5 in terms of the effective offense that I don't have that you do. And when he's in his final stage, but that's only when he's in his final stage.
Additional, yeah.
That's what it's 3.5. The 100% from hatred, 100%.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, there's whatever I'm losing out in offense, I feel like I'm more than making up for by having him continue to just be a menace. Because you want the enemy to be hitting him as much as possible, because that's how he gets further into Descent into Madness, right? So by having him high health, especially you run the risk of him not being the tank early in the fight, right? Somebody else who ends up with higher health is just the tank now this turn. And that could be disastrous depending on who it is. Whereas we actually do want Maul Like, if you want him to be getting down into Web of Descent 3, where he's getting all those goodies and all that, then you actually need him to be taking focus, which would require that he's continuously getting that taunt, right?
Yeah.
You're only going to get that if you have some focus, some really deliberate focus on life total. So if you have offense primaries on him now, if you could swap that to either health or protection primaries with strong offense, that would be way better for his particular.
I like your thought process. So keep the high offense, but maybe get some health and protection primaries.
I would say switching to the survivability primaries is worth however much offense that you're losing because you're not in an offense primary. Like, of course, go with strong offense secondaries, whether it's a health or protection primary. But the fact is that we don't get to enjoy the best parts of Maul's kit if he isn't keeping that taunt focus through the various push stages, right? That's why he gains so much health and has all these things popping off, increasing his life total radically, so that even though you pushed him into Descent of Madness 1, he still has the taunt. Now you push him in Descent of Madness 2, he still has the taunt. You push him in Descent of Madness 3, maybe now is a good time that he has a crit damage triangle, because wouldn't you know it? Without that being a health primary there, that's low enough health at that magical level that the taunt swaps over to Starkiller, and now they have to hit the 100% counterattacking Starkiller, who probably has an unleashed basic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Yeah. We got to look at we got to look to his survivability. Otherwise, he won't tank for us. We need him to.
Yeah, but I think the thing to take away from this is the balance of survivability, and then the balance of him like using the fact that he is a thick attacker, that he can get that damage out there, right?
Yes, but it is, I think we'd all agree, something that's indisputable is that we really do need him to have enough survivability, which in your case you might have to play test out, because you're flirting with the line with him only being 100k health, because that's a number that's easy for Starkiller and Stranger to be around themselves. That's a pretty dangerous number for you to be around, because we need him after hitting Descent 1 and 2 to still be tanking. I think you would not disagree with that at this point, right? You're never going to get him to Descent 3, right? Otherwise?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I don't disagree with any of your points about how hard this guy's going to hit later, but he'll only get there if he takes enough punishment for long enough. So I think the ticket for you is definitely health primaries or protection primaries. Kylo Rentuji says, I've got 130,000 health and 11,000 offense, 313 speed with the offense set. Is this okay? He's Relic 9. If you're talking about Spider Maul, probably doesn't need to be that fast. The fact that mine's about 300 speed is almost entirely arbitrary. If he was 10, 20 speed lower, not more than 20 speed lower, I'd be okay. What is important is what we're talking about. He needs to be huge. He also really does benefit, I think, from offense on his secondaries. And if you can swing it without losing too much health, the crit damage triangle is attractive. But other, like Sasha Aisha, undisputedly one of the best players in the world, runs 4 health primaries, and you don't hear him complaining. I'll tell you that. So you don't have to run the crit damage triangle. I just like it. And I also think it does open up an interesting strategic avenue where it has play tested that the taunt does drop earlier with the crit damage triangle. It drops off of Maul and onto Starkiller earlier, but not before Starkiller's already dropped the ship. I think that's kind of neat. It's something I might try and toy around with more. Now you've heard both sides. Sticks, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
What I'm also looking at, Taz, when I'm looking at it, and because I'm in Kyber 2 now, right? I'm not in the top Kyber 1, but I'm not dealing like with like little Rhodium, like I'm dealing with some semi-serious like players, right? Like they're competent, But what I'm thinking about when I'm my thought process, and I'm on board. I'm gonna be moving the health and stuff, and the reason why I'm gonna push for the crit damage triangle is with Starkiller as well. You're gaining what, another 60 speed on top of that, right? With his Omicron active, correct? Because you're getting 35 speed.
It's
Plus
35
you're
and 35. It's
speed.
70. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're getting 70 speed just from Starkiller's Omicron. So even before the battle starts, right? Maul, if your Maul's base speed is at 300, right at the start of the battle, that's 370 speed Maul, right?
Yeah, but that number in
And
itself
so-
doesn't give you a particular advantage. Like, the thing about him is that he has reactive stuff in him where he'll gain turn meter where he's getting hit. Essentially, as long as he's getting hit, he's going to end up getting charged up. That's the cool thing about him, is if we can keep the enemy focused.
And his second special attack.
Yeah, but his second
you
special
gotta
gets
acknowledge
used
the
on
fact
his
that
second turn, right? His second
I use it on the first.
Well, I mean, that's true. You did say you're mostly thinking about this as an offense. That's fair.
Yeah, because I'm using it when I'm thinking of it on offense, right?
Fair.
When I'm thinking offense, you're removing that 60% turn mirror. Your team's getting that 60% turn mirror, and then you're constantly assisting, especially with the stranger. He's assisting it, and with the FDC, Starkiller is going to keep assisting on all of those turns, right? And so that's just going to speed up that ultimate, right?
Makes sense.
But no, I agree with. I was saying, like, I think the three things for me personally, the three things I'm focusing on is getting my Mauls at 299. I want to get them to like 305, 310. I want to get him to like that 100. I think 130 would be nice. And then if I can somehow keep him at around 11K offense, I think that would be perfect.
Well, I'll say this much. I've been kind of dicking around with the new FTC and Squad Arena, right? And I've got mine modded the same way as Tassenix, and it destroys everything. It's ridiculous how good that thing is on offense. So,
yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because Maul just sits there, takes hits, and the team just does what it does. You know, with Visas and Barris in there, it destroys shit. It is unbelievable.
I beat a Relic 10 SOKR in 32 seconds.
Oh yeah,
32 seconds.
So I think on offense, you know, having it the way Tassenix has, the modding worked really well in my favor because, you know, he's getting hit a lot. You're getting turn meter, stranger, and Starkiller doing their thing. Starkiller gets into his, you know, ultimate, bringing down the Star Destroyer fast, and it's game over. So I think you'll be, if you follow Tass's advice, you'll still be good on offense. Just throwing it out there.
My stats are nothing to laugh at. You can't, you know. Like,
yeah, but that's what you keep missing. You're missing the point, is that we agree that he's at his most potent as an attacker when he's at Web of Descent 3. Right?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we have
like,
agreed on that.
He does some damage before then, but 11K whatever, it isn't like seriously dangerous damage on the first time he uses that skill. It's cool stuff, but it isn't like nowhere near the amount of damage he's going to do by the time he's Web of Descent 3, right? But he'll only ever get there if and only if he's the one taking damage. Now, why would they choose to hit him if they could just instead hit whoever else was force marked instead, whoever else had the highest health? Because the enemy can control who has the lowest health on your team, right? They can focus somebody, but it's a lot harder to manipulate who has the highest. You get to control that up front through modding, and you give that away, that advantage away first by prioritizing offense. So while you might hit harder, and surely if you do get to Web of Descent 3, yours will definitely hit like barbarically hard. My question is whether you ever get to see that. So all this talk of the offense and everything, like the 11K is cool. 12K in an offense set for high relics like Relic 9, Relic 10 is probably like the stretch goal number to, in my opinion. So if it was me, Like I would play around with it and see what you have, because maybe you have secondaries that can make it make sense for you to have more offense than what I've got. But I would look at radically increasing your health, because or protection, whatever. But because if he isn't forcing the taunt onto himself, why would you choose to hit him? Why would you choose to push him further towards Edge of Madness 3 or Descent into Web of Madness 3? Web of Descent 3, whatever the fuck it's called.
I mean, I guess it's from. I guess it's a catch-22 though, Taz, right? Because if you leave him for last, your team may be crippled by then, right? And
What do you mean
and
leave him for last?
if your support's taken out, right?
What do you mean leave him for last?
Like if Maul is the last character on the team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it should be. Yes, go on.
Yeah, but if he's in Web of Descent 3, and you have no heals, nothing, and it's a 1v1.
Yeah.
You have one character left. That damage is going to get you over.
But how rarely do we get into that scenario?
I'm just saying, it's a hypothetical though, right?
It's a hypothetical, but
is.
it's not a hypothetical.
It's a hypothetical. Every fight where you're attacking the stranger team, surely you're going to intend to kill every character. So we can concede that maybe it does get down to Maul every fight. But does it get down to Maul at the right order? Because if they hit your Maul early in the fight, and he goes low enough on life total to force the force taunt over to Starkiller, Ranger, virtually anybody else early in the fight, you're doing a big disservice to the other members of the team, right? Not only are they not meant to take this kind of focus, or at least not yet, and you're delaying how long it takes you to get down into web. So the point being that by the time you do get into Web of Descent 3, it would indeed only happen after all of the other allies are dead. That's not to me the way to balance that out. That's not how I.
But wouldn't that still be like, because I know in Kyber 1, like I'm agreeing with you. I'm playing devil's advocate.
No.
Right?
I'm happy to tease out
I'm
the
playing
thought.
devil's advocate because we're on the same page, but I'm just playing devil's advocate for like conversation. Like in Kyber with banners and stuff like that, right? That's gonna be a nightmare, right? Like, because you're gonna be banner pinching.
Yeah, but you're not actually making the case you think it does. By the time your Maul gets the most dangerous it'll ever be, it'll be too late. My Maul will have long since been effective before my allies start dying. My guy will be at Web of Descent 3 before my guys are dying.
Mine already does in Squad Arena.
Yeah, but
No. Well, you mean
Shit
you
gets
gotta
long.
wait.
Yeah.
Pick your hypothetical. Because a moment ago you set the hypothetical in which he was the last. Now we're talking about other Squad Arena battles in which that's not happening. So
No, he's in Web of Descent 3, and then everyone else gets picked off, and he's the last one.
that's definitely not my experience. And
that's not my experience either.
But
let's not fall into the classic trap of extrapolating Grand Arena results to be representative of stuff that's going to happen. Squad Arena results to be representative of Grand Arena. No?
True.
Let's see here. TJ is in the chat. Hey, TJ. He says he's supposed to add a layer to the team. Damage is nice, but you want that mark on him as long as possible. The team has plenty of damage.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
That is what we've all been saying.
He's a helper. He definitely can help in that sense, but I truly think his role is to just stay as your tank as long as possible, and he rewards you for that over the course.
Yeah, Starkiller will do all the work for you. I mean, between him and
that's what I've been
Striker,
saying. Yeah,
Bad lab.
and this Kron just makes him hit 10% more. Plus, it's a nasty team.
it's gonna be.
Yeah, I think any amount of bonus damage on that assist, that is insane to me.
Yeah, I don't know why they added 10%.
That's what they do, man.
They could have just left it.
Oh, Dagger in
Oh,
the
what-
chat.
Left it as.
Dagger Mage 7 says, "How do you respond to the allegations levied against you, Tassenix?"
There's allegations.
What are these scurrilous, no doubt scurrilous allegations?
Probably started by Dagger, but continue, sir.
I believe it. Sounds like a Dagger-like thing to do. Rum bum that he is.
All right, Taz. Here's my question: if you're going against your own mall, what would you throw with how you have him modded?
Probably Lord Vader.
I'm planning on using Lord Vader on offense.
That's what
for
I'm
that
planning.
specific reason.
Go with something that's got a balance of like I've got one that's like 88% protection and 98% armor penetration, something like that. Like have some offense, but have a lot of life total in. Have a lot of life total. That way you don't actually sweat about losing your sides. Like there's going to be a ship drop. Like the ship drop was happening in 3v3 without them. Like when people were running attacker.
Yeah.
That. Like the ship drop is gonna happen. So the question is, can you take the money?
Yeah, I mean, a Relic 10 Lord Vader will easily be able to.
Yes,
well, yeah, but it depends on how you have it modded and the mod. Yeah,
I'm not out here stealing any more money, Dagger. Yes, thank you for that. That was an amusing time today.
You're stealing money? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. A troll was trolling, basically
really?
saying, "Hey, I bought a Twitch sub from you, and then you banned me from the Discord because I was an annoying shit, and I feel that you owe me a refund." And I'm like, "You should feel something the fuck else, because that won't be happening, Jack." You got your ad-free viewing for the month and then decided to be a dipshit, so bye.
yeah. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
Yeah,
Should learn to read the fine print.
The classic expression is, "Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you." Yeah, classic, isn't it? Really feel the dusty trail coming off that one.
God, I'm so cash poor with these FDCs. Oh, this is brutal.
No, I only have 3 million left.
I have 0, pretty much. Trying to get these suckers ready for 5v5 next week. It's like, oh man.
And tomorrow I have Maul's FTC done. Yay!
Nice. I hope that it's better here, because I didn't wail for any of the other FTCs for the end of that last week of 3 versus 3. The only one I got was Maul. I didn't get the Stormtrooper Luke. I didn't get the Darth Vader dual Zen. Didn't have any of that lined up. The only one I went for was the Maul, and I got bit hard in the ass on that. That's tough.
Well, I'm sorry to hear, and also hello.
Hello, not Meathead.
Who goes there? Oh, Kadar. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Yeah,
Nothing much, man. How about you?
Just chilling. In the TV and chill bit.
I forgot to do
You'll be
TV myself.
You'll be happy to know, Tassenix, that because of our fundraising efforts, we have a couple fun things coming up. Tomorrow I'm going to be Darth Revan, by the way, if you want to check that out.
Wow.
And then Kadar has to eat a giant dill pickle because he hates them.
Wow. When I heard dill, I
You
did
thought
not
it was gonna be
expect the
dildo?
next syllable after that to be pih.
Cool.
I thought you were saying you had to eat
Well,
a dildo. Yeah. I was like, wow, that's
Oh,
Yep.
wow. Okay. Oh,
Vader Slap says, "What's cooking, Tass? Yeah, just chilling here. Invoice. I've got Ranger. I've got Troopers on break, and now most recently Kadar, aka professional meathead impersonator,
And Dagger.
Oh, Dagger just popped in.
Oh, Dagger joined us.
Cool.
Popped out in. There he is.
What's going on?
Yes.
Yeah,
Dagger?
Dagger just got here.
Cass refused to read my joke.
Which one?
No, yeah.
I give that saying a 6, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, you are right. I did refuse
Oh.
to read that. Your observation is valid.
Fair.
Oh my god.
I see you're doing a hatless stream, so I feel more at
did
home.
fail, and hopefully I'll be forgiven by history.
Yeah. Well, the winners usually tell the history.
Yeah, those of us with hairlines will remember you fondly.
That's right. That's right.
Brutal.
Did you do your conquest yet?
Oh yeah, that was much earlier.
Fair enough.
I did that
I was
before,
wasn't
where
sure
I
if you were
left
gonna do-
both for the stream, and I was doing this for like 5 hours, and it's like, we had a good chat for that 5-hour PB and chill stream. It was too fucking long. Up till like 2 p.m.
Yeah, like Monday I did, that rush to Sector 4 took me almost 4 hours of just grinding in Conquest, man. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, and then
It's
we
nothing
made
dusting,
you we made you get that mall to level 12.
With no set dusting, I went to Sector 3 because it's a way higher EV on the Mark IIs. Because you get
That's
more
why I
per
did.
Yeah.
roll.
Yeah, I've been farming the shit out of that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
So
get the cash and the what is it? The MK first piece. The
It's
is that the MK ones?
Sector 2? Sector
MK1 or
2 is the
MK2
cash in the
pieces?
Mark 1? Yeah, Sector
can't
3 is the
remember.
Mark 1 and Mark 2 pieces where you get the most Mark 2 pieces.
I'm
And because there's
just-
nothing dusting, I needed Mark 1.
See, I
I'm-
need cash.
I'm,
If I'm doing Sector 2.
what I'm hoping.
Oh, that's fair. That's
is
fair
that-
too.
Is that see
I just buy it.
much people
The
panicked, and maybe they will give us more time with these datacrons.
cob is in
Yeah,
the
well,
I
chat.
really like.
The cob is in the chat with the real
Because
jokes.
1 month is unreasonable.
DeCobb is just jealous that I had a woman to put down tonight, and he doesn't.
Oh,
I don't
snap.
see them extending the time we have with any set. I just see them extending future sets and then letting those just roll over.
I don't see
That's
I don't see us
probably
going
what
back to
happened.
4 months anytime soon. In fact, the 3 months is actually kind of growing on me.
Oh, yeah? Oh, good. Guest one is already centered up for somebody in your spot. So
Woo,
good.
woo.
We've got you on screen now, Dave.
Uh,
If the rest of you want to turn your cameras
I
on, let me
guess-
know. But I'll have to do a little.
Dagger,
No,
I don't. I think the 3-month thing is. I think I have to agree with you on that. Is that it's probably going to be 3 months. I'm on board with that, but I think they have to come up with another way for us to get materials, because only game 1 conquest. If it's always going to be 7 FDCs, maybe it won't be, because with the Imperial, with the ISB, they're going to be 1 team. So maybe it'll be 1 FDC there, 1 FDC for the Rebel Fighter team, right? But only 1 conquest to get as many Datacrons as you can, then the rest having to be crystals or packs that you have to buy. That, in my opinion, just it's not right. It doesn't sit right with me.
Well, first
They
off, that's
could
the
easily
entire-
just go
well,
the
first off,
double
that's
the
entire
amount of
point.
material we get like we used to have in the original Conquest. Like
Well,
they could just put
yeah,
those
so here's
top
the thing.
back.
I can do that. I can
The
do that.
entire point is to make it so that you miss out on something and you don't have perfect Datacrons. That's kind of the point to doing this. Number 2, if you want to fix your Datacrons afterwards, that's going to cost you money. That's the other thing that they're trying to do here. Also, for what it's worth, everyone's like, oh, how am I going to get as many Datacrons? It's like, if you do Conquest the exact same way you have been doing, you're going to end up with 8 to 13, at least at the top end of this game, you're going to end up with 8 to 13 level 9s and 20 Datacrons per set, which means over 3 sets, you're going to end up somewhere 24 to like 40 Datacrons level 9 and like 60, and you're going to have 60 total. Like, you're going to end up with roughly the same amount of Datacrons just spread over 3 sets. So I don't know why I don't think they need to give us more materials, especially since they've made all these sets way more basic. One faction per alignment, light side, dark side, and then a handful of L9s, right? Like, it's not like we have 3 factions for light side we have to try to re-roll off of now. It's just the one. And you don't have to re-roll your level 6 unless you want the right level 6. But it's all the same faction. Like, I'm not saying it's perfect, I'm just saying the way that they have it, it feels fine.
Yeah, there's
they
just
make it
also
better?
just a
Yes,
fair amount
but-
of growing pains because people aren't used to this anymore.
Yes. Well, especially since there was nothing that dismantled this time. So
Yeah,
that was-
thankfully
that's
there's a
the rough
calendar for
part.
spenders.
Like, I think
Yeah,
they should
thankfully
have
there's
given
a
us
calendar
something.
for
Go
spenders.
ahead. Finish, Dagger.
Oh no, I was just saying thankfully there's a calendar for spenders to make it a lot easier on those growing pains. But yeah, this set's gonna suck because nothing does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my issue. Is it's always how they released this set, right? If they would have eased into it and like maybe compensated a little bit more, and then like next month when we have the scrap stuff, and it's like, all right, whatever you have from the scrap, that's like it's gonna be. Then we're in that system, right? It's the fact of how sweaty this first initial run is. I think that's what's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way.
Just a lot.
I think anything
because
CG
it's
does
too
is
much.
going to rub people the wrong way.
Sorry, Ranger, go ahead.
No, just saying. It's just I mean, it's shock, right? It's shock and all. Basically, what you're feeling right now. I mean, my issue is not materials. I have a shit ton of materials. I'm just hurting on cash, because it is what it is. So, getting it's just the cost of the FDCs. I would like to see that lower just a little bit if they're gonna have that many FDCs. I'm hoping they go back to 4. I think that's a more reasonable like FDC pool like it was before. I think this was just kind of special circumstances, and I think we're kind of in that perfect storm where it feels worse because we have all these new characters. They're really good. The crons are really good for the FDCs. And it's just like the cost of those two, what is it, 60 million credits alone for the 215s? I mean, that's crazy, right? Plus the materials. And so it's a little bit of overload for everybody going, oh my God, so, we'll have to change our pattern a little bit. I think it'll ease. I'm hoping it eases up on the next set, like the previous
Ranger,
one.
that's what I was trying to say about the ISB. I think there'll be a focused Datacron for like one ISB team and then maybe another for 3v3 or not 3v3, but for another ISB team. And then there's going to be one for Rebel Fighters, right? So I don't think there's going to be 7 FDCs next.
I think it's likely we get 4, right? 215s.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If set 25, the Rollcron set, had dusted for this set, no one would have cared.
No.
Yeah, and that's where I have the issue.
And I love the fact that there's 7 FDCs because this is going to make people really have to choose. You're going to see really quick who has the best threat analysis / in Magic the Gathering it's called card evaluation. I don't know what the cron evaluation. You're going to find out really quick who has the best cron evaluation for those people who are not willing to buy everything or buy the calendar or whatever, because you can't have everything. And I really like that from a perspective, like I won't have everything from this set. And I actually do like that because previous cron sets is like, I have everything. Cool. Move on. It makes the guild asks at the top end a lot more interesting because when they ask for stats, you only really get to make 1 or 2 really good crons now because then you're done. So I think that I personally am a big fan of the change, only insofar as the fact that it's like 1 faction per alignment, that kind of thing, right? Like
I'm on board with that.
I like a lot of these changes, and it makes me care about every conquest, which is a good thing and a bad thing. I really like not having to do anything the second conquest.
Yeah.
But to what you were saying earlier, like, I don't think there's anything CG could have done to make the players happy. Like, any change is going to be met with a lot of just,
they're going to complain regardless.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that.
And for what it's worth, I'm glad that it was the 7 FDCs this time to a degree because people can be mad at everything all at once.
No,
right. We only have one set where people are going to be really mad, and then we can move on.
now, and I'm going to start from scratch, right? Like we've had a rough couple of months. I think we can all agree with that. With what's been going on in the game, there's been some great stuff. Like the characters are awesome. How they're lifting the team. Stormtrooper Luke has been surprisingly doing well for some people, which is awesome, right? And so, like, I love that stuff. There's been some lows, right, with the communication stuff. I really think they took a step forward this week, and I'm excited to see what steps they're going to take, right? I'm not going to be, I posted a video today. I gave some positive feedback, and I was like, hey, this communication is great with the FTCs. I appreciate you communicating about Datacrons. Like, Meathead, you made a comment about the Datacrons, and I was like, okay, he made a comment about the Smugglers Run 3, all of that stuff, right? So we're in a better spot than we were at the end of last year. even with all these issues, we're now, the dust is settling, right? Tensions were high. I think we're in a good spot right now. Now it's like, all right, CG, dust is settled. It's a new beginning. Let's move forward, right? That's where my mindset's at.
I think that's a good way to look at it.
But Dagger, if they mess up on that communication again, Ranger knows what I get most upset about is lack of communication or omission of communication, where they withhold information, which sure they need to withhold some stuff for like releases and everything, right? But if they start doing that, then we're gonna have another issue. But right now, I think dust settling, we're in a good spot.
Honestly, like I'm not a content creator in the traditional sense, like you three, or the three of you minus Kadar, I think. But
Yeah, I'm not a content creator. Don't worry about it.
no, I'm just saying, like, they didn't lose nearly as much goodwill from me with these fuck ups as they seem to have for a lot of people, because they bought themselves so much goodwill for like the 2 to 2.5 years of good communication. Did they lose some? Absolutely, but it's not like they went up. But it's not like they went and lost everything they built the last 2 years. I'm not saying you guys are saying this. I'm saying when I read chats, right? It seems like a lot of people have just decided that all of the credibility and all of the communication from CG the last 2 years just didn't fucking happen. And I'm not
nail on
willing
the head
to...
there, Dagger. Nail on the head. I've seen so much.
Well,
of this,
Dagger,
like,
from
pessimistic.
Go ahead,
talk.
Finish.
I've seen so much of this pessimistic talk in the event server when I'm moderating it. So it's like we had to slow mode it yesterday because people were just getting so pissy. And I'm like, okay, guys, like, is this a bump? Yes, but this doesn't discount the last 2 to 3 years of like stellar communication.
Yeah.
People are just like
like
begging for perfection and asking for more and more and more. Like, no, that's not how this works.
Go ahead, Dagger.
And I only said that because Troopers brought up that the communication did improve the last couple of days. They did say some stuff. I appreciate that as well. And we're all upset with what they did. I'm just unwilling to reset them back to 2022 levels of me being annoyed at their lack of communication.
No, and Dagger, from my point of view, is like, because like when I get the most views on my channel and my streams, like my views double or triple what they normally are when I'm breaking news down, right? Because that's when people, instead of having to read like a freaking article or a whole post, they just come to my channel, they just listen, because I'll start a stream right away, right? What irritates people is they're like, because I'm giving them like, hey, CG's saying this. They said this is coming XYZ, right? And like, especially with the thing, not to bring up old wounds, with the Pirate King Hondo, when Smuggler's Run 3 was announced, it's, there's going to be a tier Relic 9 Hondo. And I'm going to be like, hey, this sounds really good. This is going to really help it out. This is just going to boost your mods even more so than Smuggler's Run 2 already is, right? And then when we're left in the dust, which I know there were some issues, we don't need to get into that, but when we're left in dust and it's
really
like,
quick,
okay,
haha, Cash, you didn't crit.
but no, basically what I'm saying is, like, to keep it short, we were told something, we told our community something, and then we're just waiting. People are like, you when you're reading this, you were like encouraging us to Relic 9. This is gonna be great, X, Y, and Z, which maybe they have their own decision whether or not to Relic 9 that character. We advise what to do, but it's at the point where it's like, okay, when we don't get that level of communication, like we did recently, like we did this week, which was amazing, but when we don't get that level of communication, that's where a lot of content creators are like, oh, well, okay, that's interesting. Well, I'm sorry that I told you that, and I literally read what they said. We don't have any update XYZ, right?
Did they ever give us a date for when they were going to release that second
They
tier? 'Cause I don't
said
recall them
to
ever
be
giving a
announced. It was TBA.
Yeah, so the
TBA.
fact that, like, again, this goes back to the, I'm not saying that anyone shouldn't feel any way that they want to feel about it, but when they announced that, I didn't think we were going to get it right away. Do you know how many attenuators and shit that is? Like, that's like floodgates for mods,
But
man. I didn't think they were
5
going to do that
months.
shit right away.
5 months, Taz. Not Taz,
okay.
Dagger.
Yeah. Like, I get what you're saying. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying that anyone shouldn't feel the way they feel about this. My point is that I didn't expect it right away, and I'm not that, like, as someone who needs the materials, I know Tass like is in the same boat as I am with the needing to work on my mods. I know everyone is. I'm just saying, like, from a perspective of someone who is spending on mods, blah 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 blah. I want those materials. I need those materials, but I also just understand how much the floodgates open the moment they give them to us, and I do expect them, but probably this summer. I thought it when they announced it. I thought, oh, cool, we're gonna get something like neck in 2026. I didn't think it was coming last year.
Okay.
So I think some of it is just we hear them say, "Oh, we're planning something," and everyone's like, "Oh, cool, we get it now." And it's like, not saying you are. I'm just
I
saying.
will
Like,
admit, I didn't think from my point of view when I was telling my chat, I was saying it's not going to be on launch, right? Don't expect it on launch. But I was thinking by the end of the year, because that's 2-3 months down the road, right?
That's
that gives
fair.
them time. That gives people who maybe aren't going to get Hondo immediately, people who maybe need to get those last few shards in shipment, stuff like that. But the people who didn't spend money to at least get 6 stars or stuff like that, they're still going to be missing out. Those people that spent money are going to get that benefit, right? So that's where my mindset was at, right? And the biggest thing, which is why I'm giving them a clean slate because of how well they did this past time. I'm not holding them to a high high pedestal, but I'm not going to be wrecking them anymore.
Let me cut in real quick.
I wish they would have done that same. Oh, sorry, Tennis.
I was just cutting in real quick. TNL in the chat says, "Hey, how's it going? Hey, we're just chilling here doing a chill stream. I've got Dagger here in the chat, one of my co-hosts from Plotting a Scheme. We got Ranger, Troopers on break, other Swugger content creators in here with me, and Kadar, one of the mods on the event server, part-time meathead impersonator, so on
allegedly.
But Dagger,
also,
my biggest thing that I think, if I may say this, is I think the thing that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, which I don't fault CG, I fault CG to an extent, but I'm not going to put 100% of the blame on them. I give them 80%, is how they release this. Because yes, it is new. It was not going to be a perfect release. There are going to be bumps, like Kadar said. I can look back and say that. It's just, moving forward, just keep it up,
Well, so here's the thing, and this is why I usually feel this way about stuff, because I just had to double check, because I wanted to say I thought it was like 6 months between Jabba and Smuggler's Run 2, and it was 5.5 months between Jabba's release and Smuggler's Run 2's release.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I'm just saying, like, I'm not expecting everyone else to have my same thought process or mentality, you know what I mean? But when they announced it, I didn't expect it right away, the same way that they announced Smuggler's Run 2 before Jabba was in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the announcement for Smuggler's Run 2 came out 6.5 months after the announcment.
Well, guys, I'm going to finish up this mission here. I'm going to step away for just a second and come back. I see somebody's asked for a
little roster review.
We can collaboratively give our feedback for this viewer. But I'll be back in just a minute. We'll get on that. You guys keep on chatting.
Yeah. But I do agree with you,
Dagger. I did want to ask.
I do agree that they need to do a better job of giving us a time frame of when. That I'm not disagreeing with. It's just they've done this so many times where they announce something and it comes out 4 to 6 months later. Where me personally, as playing this game for like 9 years, I don't like jump out of my seat like where is it? Like again. But the fact that they released Smuggler's Run 3 so soon after Hondo, right, comparatively to other things, right, they did actually kind of release it early. In that sense, right? Like, it came out, what, a month and a half after Hondo? 2 months after Hondo?
I think so.
Pretty
quick.
Like, it was relative.
I think it was a month or less, I want to say.
Oh, okay. But you get what I'm trying to say. Because Smuggler's Run 3 was so quick after Hondo, it does kind of make sense where people may have thought that Smuggler's Run, the R9 tier might be coming out soon. But I wasn't expecting Smuggler's Run 3 till, like, now.
Yeah.
Which means that when they announced it, I wasn't expecting the R9 tier till the summer. So in my head, like, they're not that far off of where I expected it. But they, again, like you said, they don't do a good job of, because I'm sorry, I'm putting my monitor that I have this up on. But they don't do a good job of telling people when. Because I'm reading the announcement here, and they said, coming soon to the holotables near you. Well, 5.5 months isn't fucking soon. Not to most
Yeah.
people, at least.
Yeah, I get your point.
I mean,
But I
what
did want
is
to ask
time?
you.
What is time really? You know,
Yeah.
tiny wimey kind of. You know, a minute to you
That's
might be
retarded.
different for me. You know, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, but no, what I wanted to ask you, Dagger, as a Kyber 1 player, we were talking about this earlier, is what FTCs are you most keen on outside of the obvious ones?
I think the best one is probably going to be either Asajj or the IG-90.
Mm,
Because Dadbod as a trio looked like it had legs versus Jabba and threes, and I think that there's some kit stuff that works against Lord Vader. So I think that this team's going to be beating a couple GLs. Afra with this level 9, like I think Afra's going to be beating a couple different GLs, maybe 3. I'm not sold on Darth Vader. I think the Datacron is absurd. And
It is
and it was a
absurd.
guild ask.
That-
It was a guild
Jesus.
ask, so I got it. But I just don't. I'm not sold. I'm not saying it won't be good. I'm just saying like yes, it's powerful, but it has like you have to matchup hunt for it, and there's nothing wrong with matchup hunting. But I think Ahsoka. I mean, at this point, if I say it beats Jabba, like nobody's gonna give a shit, right? Like everything beats Jabba.
yeah.
And the Maul one is kind of disappointing. I got it because it feels required.
Disappointing? How?
What do you mean?
I mean,
It's not even the best Datacron for the team. In threes, it wasn't even the best Datacron for the team.
No, armor pen and offense was.
Armor pen and all.
Yeah, it was the Technocron. So when I say disappointing, I mean coming off of 3v3, as someone like Tass said, who had it leveled up, it's disappointing. Now, it probably won't be in fives now that we get Varys and Visas. I'm just saying in general, it is
In
disappointing
threes,
coming off.
I can agree, but in fives, I think
Yeah.
it's going to be an absolute menace with all the.
I think
mechanics.
Sure.
I think after set 25 drops off, it'll have much more punching power, right? Set 25 has
I
got
agree.
all of our shit fucked up right now because set 25 allows these teams on offense and defense to do insane stuff that you have to deal with on both ends. And it's just like, you know, it skews the reality of what these teams can do on a normal basis, right? With a normal run of crons. But like, I cannot wait for set 25 to go away. My God, I've had so many crazy interactions. Oh, so brutal.
I also think that the Stormtrooper Luke one is going to be pretty underrated because I do think that Stormtrooper Luke and Han are going to slot into Leia pretty good.
Oh yeah,
I'm already planning on it.
We talked about that earlier, and I was saying how I'm not convinced that they're going to be better for me than just using Gratis Jin. But I'd love to have an opposing opinion on that. What gives you confidence? Because you're not the first person I've heard say that they're eager to try.
It was the one that theory crafted that, Taz. I just want to jump in. I sent the message when he was announced that I thought he would be great with them.
Sure,
It's a really simple answer that I gave you earlier today. In fact, it's that I don't feel like Jin Radis are actually that good. They're just a function of Radis is there to make sure that Jin can't die, and Jin is functionally a tank. What happens when you add Stormtrooper Han, who's actually a tank? And Luke to keep him alive longer. Like, I'm not saying they're going to be better. I'm just saying that Jin and Adrad just aren't contributing. It's basically Leia, Drogon, R2, and then Radis to keep Jin from dying, and then Jin is the tank. Like, they're not adding a ton to the actual fight, if that makes sense. So what happens if you add a character? Yes, what happens if you add a character that will actually add to the fight, and on top of that, the Datacron has like 150% defense and 50% offense.
Yeah, because if you're a smart player, you know how to navigate the Adrad Jin cheese on Leia, right?
Well, usually you're using it for offense.
And I'm not saying that it's going to be better. I'm just saying I don't think it'll be worse. Offense. And I guess my only argument, Tass, isn't a very good one because my argument isn't that it's better. It's that I don't think it's worse. And I think the Datacron is enough with the stats to make you want to give it a try.
I guess the really only functional difference is if you wanted to take advantage. The biggest difference is Stormtrooper Han can die. While Radis lives, Jin simply cannot, and we can force her to take overwhelming damage many times in a way that just about no other character can. And if you're not fighting one of the
Right.
fights where you're specifically making use of that feature, then I guess all's equal. That's fine.
Well, I'm just saying the support cron itself is being put on Ezra more, which makes Leia a lot harder. And the reason why Leia's a lot harder is because you're taking Jin and Adrad that don't add anything. I remember last season I think it might have been the season before, but I remember I started using Old Ben and Chupio, or C-3PO and Chupio, on that
I'm seeing
team
that.
when they had a support cron or had anti-stealth mechanics. Because remember people used to put Zalbar on their Rey, and that made Jin Adrad not good. So I started bringing different characters that made more sense, that aided my fight a little bit more. So that's the reason why I think that it's doable without, at least for while the support cron is running around. Maybe after the support cron it's not, but
One thing I do like about Leia is the fact that we can have these discussions. Because there are teams where it's like you have to have these characters, right? It like Lord Vader, it's Lord Vader and the Dark Cyclones, right? It's not like, oh, I'm gonna slot Cody into the oh my god, fucking goldfish.
What?
But
Perks of
like
being an adult.
I like how you can have flexibility with her.
All right, gentlemen.
What's wrong with goldfish?
Let me call your attention here. This is TNL 101's account. That on screen. By the way, yeah, thank you, Kadar, for getting these folks here, sort of getting them onto Discord. I've heard people say that those links are expired, but then I've had other people test them and tell me that they work. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Vader Slaps just joined. I'm looking into it.
So, also, Tass, what happens is, okay, so you can clip this or add this to your whatever. If you're on your phone and you try to follow the link, you have to open it in your browser on your phone.
Yeah.
Because Twitch is stupid and hates phones.
Oh,
if you're on your
point.
PC, you just click the link and it goes.
There you go.
Good point.
All
But
right.
Twitch has a horrible mobile interface. Just fucking horrible.
All right. So here's
But yes,
the.
I am the arbiter of the goldfish in this house.
Sure. All right. Here is the viewer's account. The Nuclear Lizards profile. 8.9 million GP. Chromium 2. Let's take a look at some of the high-level stuff here. We're talking 3 GLs. You're pursuing a 4th.
Yeah, he's halfway to Jabba, I think, and about 3/4 of the way to JML. Or might be further on Jabba, but Jabba is his current active farm, he said in the chat. He's been passively doing JML associated stuff thanks to some of the light side tokens, like Old Ben, for example.
Nice.
Yeah, JML's a participation reward for playing this game for like 4 years, so yeah, you'll get there eventually.
Yeah, he's the light side tokens benefit him quite a bit in terms of getting progress done on farming.
And so many of the Journey Guide just give you half of the pieces for a lot of the stuff, like JKL gives you like a bunch of pieces. Jabba's a really good one to get. You already have like the bread and butter in Rey and Kylo.
Up there he is. Now he's in the Discord.
Yeah.
Nice. Welcome to the Discord. All right. Anyway, high level. So it sounds like Java's your next thing. Feel free to ask us questions. This is the thing. Happy to do these roster reviews, but I'm always going to look at the same stuff. I'm going to look at what are the big things that you have. What is your distribution of relics? And then I'm coming over to your mods to get a sense of how well do you know what you're doing? Like, are you farming enough diversity of mods? Are you selecting for good secondaries that aren't just speed? Because of course, speed's great, but trying to get a sense. And yeah, so far so good. I like at least the set diversity.
DEI program in mods is going strong.
Can you post his link in the chat here?
Yeah, I can do that.
I got it.
Sure.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it. Great.
Just your screen's a little small on my Discord.
Yeah,
Shut
it's on the
up.
Twitch.
I can make it bigger.
That's
No,
what she said.
That's what she
Well,
said.
no, because I'm watching
My
through
friends are
OBS.
beeping.
If I watch on delay on Twitch,
Oh,
its own version of annoying.
all right. Well, bigger. Anyway,
Mhm.
You know,
yeah. All right. So you know.
I'll
how
bet
to
you wish
select-
you heard that more often.
Yes, it's all code all the time. Tune in next week on the Tassenix Gaming channel for the greatest code.
Yeah, the Tassenix. It's got to be the Tassenix gaming.
Yes.
Next up on Tassenix, is he
Yeah.
the father? Find out in 3 minutes after these commercial messages.
The scorned,
kid looked
scorned ex-wife
Indian, so I
sitting
went-
there
I
on the
don't think it's-
stage laughing. 3 minutes.
Damn. That's a commercial break and twice with the misses.
It'd be a tough show.
Uh,
Tough show. All right,
Yeah.
so I do like your set distributions. Some of these mods, I think, are wise to have been left where they are. So I think you've learned lessons along the way about where you want to stop working with a mod, and you can always go back and work on it later. But you put your efforts probably certainly into better looking mods. Yeah. Let me tell you something. These defense primaries, you got to get away from. Make use of them, of course. I'm not telling you to chuck anything in the bin, but defense primaries are very inefficient. So you could
I'll
have.
tell you to chuck them in the bin.
Huh?
I'll tell you to chuck them in the bin.
Well, you can't chuck it in the bin until you replace it. You can use it, and now he's going to go look for.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying repurpose them, and I'm saying don't repurpose them.
Oh, well, I mean, whatever. Pilots need mods too. Don't listen to Dagger. Dagger wants your pilots to never have
Eventually your pilots
never
will
have a
have
day
good
of shore
mods.
leave. No vacations, double shifts, no breaks,
No.
no recreation,
No.
no chance at having
None of
to
that shit.
stop
Look,
mods.
no.
Damn, we
That's
gotta
what
make
you're
a
trying to-
union over here?
Tass is here trying to make fun of me for my take on mods when he locked into 3v3 without two of the best units with mods on them.
Oh
You
no.
son of a bitch.
I mean, I did not have some characters. True. Appreciate the hydrate,
Yeah.
PNL. Yeah, I love some of these 17 speed free rolls. I love these. I love
Yeah.
seeing these. Keep working with these. Got a mitt full of things like that, actually. So, same with the
on
16s.
the Chrysanthemum. I wanted to point something out on the Chrysanthemum.
Oh yeah, that's a stellar mod.
Yeah, one thing I will say, and you probably already know this, if you want a more in-depth discussion about this, you can go check Tassenix's YouTube channel. He has a three-part series on mods, which
I'll do mod
he
guide
graciously allowed
series.
me to guest on. But what I would say is that mod is really solid. Don't get me wrong, but I would really hyper focus on making sure that your tenacity, potency, and crit chance mods all have the respective stat on them.
Good point.
And every time somebody has mods on their characters, I just want to make sure I just kind of poke that home a little bit. It's still a good mod, nothing wrong with it. just just reinforcing good
Yeah.
habits.
No, this is something we definitely discussed in depth in the sense that when you're taking on a two-piece, for example, like potency, like defense, you're choosing that because you're specifically wanting to concentrate in that stat. So you can get that as a secondary for it. Therefore, you can use this, of course, until you eventually find a mod that's got the protection primary, similar amount of speed, and let's say for the purposes of Chrysanthemum being a tank, it'll also have this nice defense on it. And either the offense or the health, one of those can be tenacity, and hopefully a few good rolls on it. But you want tenacity on your tenacity mods, crit chance on your crit chance, defense on your defense, potency on your potency. Otherwise, why not run health? Something like that is your two-piece. Yes, as far as the primaries go, though, the defense primary gives you 20% defense. You can
25.
get
The primary. Sorry, I thought you were the stat. My bad.
Yeah, the primary. 20% defense is something that you can get the lion's share out of a secondary on defense. Contrast that with, like, on your Galactic Legend Ray, you have a defense primary triangle here. If this is a health primary triangle, you can have a 16% health primary, and then something like I personally have 17+% defense secondary, which the lion's share of 20%. So whereas if you flip that, The strongest health secondary that you're going to get is somewhere around 7 to 8%, roughly half the value of the primary, as opposed to 17/20ths of it, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I would urge you to, you can look at my roster, you can look at other players' rosters that you like. Most people are going to be having health primaries on the Ray, because she also has synergy with health from her own leadership. Often running her with OG Cal that further stacks health. So a bunch of reasons in her particular case to have specifically health. But the real takeaway here is, in general, get away from defense primaries, because whatever your purpose, whether it's Ray, whether it's on a straight tank, like a protection primary or a health primary is a better choice on a tank with strong defense secondaries than vice versa. Yep.
Now repeat all of that again because you were on ads.
Some people deeply invested in the channel or have just been randomly around when nomads or pills show. Or a handful of other generous
Well, he
souls.
does. He did subscribe on the
Handful
YouTube
of
side,
other
so you
generous
might have
souls
seen it on the
do this.
YouTube side.
Oh, that's fair. I just saw him. I just saw the ads ended. Okay, that's fair. If he's watching on YouTube, that's fine.
Yeah, those folks also see Dagger doesn't even think about whole groups of people. YouTube people are nothing to him. Nothing.
Look, I'm the one who consistently
Fuck
has to
me.
remind Tass that you guys exist on the YouTube chat.
I
Which is
can
why
see
when I hop
both
in here, I tend-
sides.
So y'all don't
But you
care
still
about
ignore
YouTube
that.
At the
Okay.
moment.
Okay. Let's go to report channel. Reasons. He's an asshole. Carry on. Other reason, he's bald. Yep. Okay. And submit. All right, there we go.
How do you
That's a
climb
good
in
question.
fleets?
DNL 101.
Jeez, how does he climb in fleets, guys? That's
Well, it's going to depend
Well,
on what
let me-
you have.
yeah. Let's go to his
I
ships
see,
tab,
yes.
folks.
6-star
Okay, so
leader.
hold on. So actually, there's two things to ask really quick. Number one, what teams are you seeing on defense in your fleet arena? Number two, what fleets do you have available to you? One of them we can see through your .gg.
Okay,
The
it
one I
looks like
saw was-
Executor.
He had Executor.
He's got Executor.
that's
He
it.
has the means.
Yeah. R10
Yeah.
executor at that.
Ooh.
Or Bounty Hunter. The Relic 8, Boba, Relic 7, Houndstooth, Relic 5, Punishing One, Relic 5, IG2K, Relic 5, Xanadu, the
Well,
Gear 10? Bam?
not 8. That's 8. I want to say that's 8.
Okay, I'm not willing to fight over that. So, fair.
I'm not either. I'm just flexing my old brain muscle to see if I still remember what R8.
You have
What gear
it
8
is-
looks like.
I can't confirm it is, in fact, gear level 8.
All right,
Woo!
here we go. There
Sorry.
we go. Yeah, Leviathan,
it's gonna be tough
Profundity,
to
and
climb with
Leviathan.
that Razor Crest for sure.
Well, yeah, the Razor Crest needs more investment. That's the first thing. Like, clearly, this is the meta fleet that you've been progressing on, and you're most of the way there. So, Razor Crest needs more love, but I'm sure there's any number of videos. Like, I could find. Somebody have a good link to a Bit Dynasty video about doing Executor versus.
Do you wait for the LST? Do you know if he's getting? Are you going to
Executor
be able to
versus
get an
what?
LST for him that you know of? Because I don't know. So do you know that you're going to get an LST for him?
Oh, okay, a light speed token.
Oh, he is.
Think about
Bam is
this.
one at the late in about 2 months or a month? Yes, for the anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Well,
yeah.
I have
If-
the
if
date.
it's
pulled
2
up.
months away, man, I don't know.
So what's that going to promote him to?
That would get him to Relic 0. Bam's getting to Relic 0, Gear 13.
I would honestly just take him up yourself. If you're going to wait
I
2
would,
months to
yeah.
take him from Gear 8 to Gear 13, I would just do it now, if I'm being
Yeah, I
completely
would.
honest.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna
so
cost
it's
you.
gonna be the date. It's gonna be April 21st is when the Bam LST drops.
2 months.
Oh, yeah, so that's
yeah.
a solid 2 months.
That
I
is-
would pull the
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're
that's a
trying to
lot of
climb in
daily
Fleet Arena, I don't
rewards.
know if
to
I'd wait.
miss.
And I have the confirmation that it's going to be 7 stars, Gear 13, aka Relic Zero, with all abilities upgraded to maximum level, including Zetas.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
still.
it would
Well, that's up
definitely
to
be
you.
worth putting resources into the guy to advance him. Say like Relic 5 is the minimum that you have operating on this fleet. Try and push him up as close to that as possible, because you're going to be earning significantly better daily rewards with this fleet product.
Mhm.
So our Relic 7 Dengar and Cad Bane, the typical starting lineup, you're either doing triple attacker or you're doing Houndstooth up front. So I would have the following 4 ships as high a relic as you can stand: Houndstooth, Punishing One, Xanadu, Blood, and Razor. You are generally bringing a combination of those 3 ships, and then whichever one you didn't bring in on the front line, you're bringing in as the first reinforcement. That's generally the way that goes. Slave 1 is kind of gravy for a lot of fights. And you've already got him at Relicade, so you don't have to worry about him. Houndstooth, Punishing One, Xanadu, and Razor Crest, I would look to take up as high as you can.
And as far as the actual climbing goes, just avoid profundities.
Yeah, it could be rough.
Yeah, because if they've got that new Rogue One ship, they're immune to breach, which very
Yes.
much means.
Is that the B-Wing? Or is that the Rogue One? Is the Rogue One?
Oh,
I
both
forget
of
which one of the which fleet.
No,
Rogue
I
One's
think-
on the
I think
profundity,
the
and then B-Wing's on
profundity's
the,
the one that gets
Yeah, I
to
was
happen.
say I think B-Wing. I
That
just
one's
know
a
it's the
tough
little
fight
T-
too.
It's the T-looking ship that has a little laser that fires all over the place.
Yeah, the B-Wing, the shape
It's
like
from
a
the
T.
Rebel. It's from the
Yeah.
Rebel ship. Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, I don't remember which ship is which, if I'm being honest, half the time. I just remember it's the T-looking ship that has the laser that, like, looks like he's trying to pee without holding it.
Oh,
Only reason you've been on the
It's a
fence is
visual for you.
because Cal Kestis, Embo, and Starkiller need Kyrotex. Yeah, well, this is something that when you think about how Swugga is a resource management game, one of the best decisions that you can do is focus on developing your roster in such a way that you are able to get paid back for things that you have an incentive to pick up for any other reason, whether that's PvP, PvE, whatever. So I say that in the sense that you want to pick things that help you win more crystals. So in this case, you having a up to snuff executor fleet will help you get as close as you possibly can to taking rank 1 every day, for crystals in your pocket, or having what you already wanted to have anyway. That's why you're going after Jabba. Jabba has a related resource event. Get extra resources just for owning what you probably already wanted to have anyway. Same with the Peridia Patrol, the Night Trooper, DTP, and so on. There's any number of other characters and things that have related events. And so I'm saying, whether it's events or your daily crystals from Fleet Arena, you want to make decisions that are going to help you maximize those ASAP. If you're doing that, the more crystals, the rewards you get.
No, and I agree with that, because I'll put it into perspective. Like, I am profiting because before like the end of last year, I didn't care about fleets. But once I actually started climbing in Fleet Arena, even if I forget and I'm still in the top 5, I've been profiting so much on crystals. Granted, it's helping a lot that I'm not investing in Andor era. But in this time, I've gotten nearly, with Grand Arena, TB, all that stuff, I'm at 21,000 crystals. And I would say a vast majority of that is from me doing Fleet Arena, because I don't have Leviathan, but I'm using the off meta counter, and I'm investing in that counter and using it to get those resources. So it is worth it if you don't have like the top fleet. Investing in a fleet that can counter those fleets to get those resources for the crystal, it goes a long way over time, which I didn't realize until I stopped spending crystals on all these marquees and I just let it sit there. It adds up really quickly.
I believe it.
Yeah, I've talked to a few of different Tass's different patrons. I've helped them kind of figure out how many crystals they make on average per day by doing like their placements and all that stuff. And without any GAC crystals being added in for wins, losses, end of the week, anything, just the daily. If you're in Kyber 1 taking first in fleet, we've said that here before, you're making somewhere between 900 and 1,000 crystals a day.
Yep.
That's a lot.
That's what I make. Oh yeah,
I'm at about like 750, 780 a day because I'm in Kyber 2.
Yeah, and even
Right.
at that point, you can do 3 mod refreshes, 3 Cantina refreshes, and still bank
Mhm.
a couple
And I
hundred
still profit.
every day.
That's the thing. I still profit after 3 Cantina refreshes.
And that's with no wins, losses, or end of week rewards from GAC factored in, or TB rewards.
Yeah, TB. Every TB you're getting 1.1k crystals, right?
well, depending on where you're at with TB.
Yeah,
Well,
depending on.
I
where
think you get some amount of crystals even if you're lower, right?
Right, yeah, but not that many. So let's.
Yeah, not that.
Yeah, it's somewhere between like 200 and like 1,200, right? Something like that.
Yeah, on average, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, when you break it down by how many crystals you get, a lot of people I've talked to, and a few of them are Tass's patrons, have found out, like, oh, huh, you get way more crystals than I thought. I'm like, yeah, you just have to get into the habit of knowing how many come in, and then watching them go out and making sure you know where they go.
Well,
I'm
that's
also
what shocked
guilty of
me,
making crystals just to
Dagger.
use
Like,
for my
because
account.
with me not investing in this era, because like usually it's like, all right, I invest and then I'm spending them all on marquees, right? Like I'm hoarding up and then it goes back down to zero. With me not doing that, I'm seeing the climb every day, and like my chat's like, wait, you have 20,000 crystals? I'm like, wait, what? And then I claim my fleet arena and I claim my dailies. It's like, oh, I'm at 20.6k. Like shit. Like, when did that happen? And it's only been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, and on top of that, if you do Conquest, even if you're not in Kyber 1 and you just factor in doing the 50s, you can pretty much like still make a ton of crystals off of GAC and all that stuff. Like I did the math on it, and I can, with the amount of crystals I bring in, I can 5-star every marquee through it during the marquee event, so they'll be ready for a raid if it comes out. I can do the 50s and 100s in mods every day. I can do the 50s and 100s in Conquest every day, and I can do my 3 Cantina refreshes without spending any money on crystals.
Well, and Dagger, here's the thing that I'm aiming for, and that I've talked to my chat about is like I'm going to be able to just hoarding up by not doing this era. I'm going to be hoarding up with my fleet arena as long as I stay consistent with my grand arena, and as long as I'm doing well in TB, which our guild's doing fine. I will, by the time the end of not this era but the next era, I will be able to get 4 marquee characters completely for free. I won't have to spend any money whatsoever on the game, because it's all about resource management and what like how you manage those crystals. Granted, I am going to be spending some crystals for Cantina refreshes. I'm going to be spending crystals for Conquest, and we factor that in. If I didn't do that, I could get the whole era for free, right? But I think getting 3 or 4 marquee characters for free just from hoarding my crystals, I think that's a great deal. And that I'm proving Taz's point. Investing in Fleet Arena, investing in those fleets to climb into Fleet Arena has that much of an impact.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, I think by the end of this era, I'll be sitting at like 40,000 crystals.
I honestly don't know if the average person really needs to 7-star these with crystals. I would try to make sure you get like some of the stuff to 5 stars, if not this era, next era, and probably just stop there, because the minimum for the raid is 5 stars. I found it out a little while, and it's over. I'm reasonably sure that if not this era and the next era and possibly the next era, we're looking at new raid characters coming up really soon.
Well,
Speaking
yeah,
of
you
next
got
era,
Taz, my mindset is... Oh, sorry, Ranger. You go ahead. We were talking.
I don't know. Here's the thing. It'll be interesting to see if they add these characters this era, because you know how CG operates, right? to the next raid. It's possible. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
I
Just
don't
call it
like that
bad
though.
batch.
Well,
I don't.
yeah, I was saying
I
starting with
don't-
the next raid. I was saying starting with the next
Communication
raid.
ranger.
I would try to
Yes,
get characters to 5
I
star.
think yeah,
Yeah.
the next era I think is where we're gonna get for the GL and the raid and all that stuff for the next
And that's where
3
my
months.
brain is at, right? And like I'm hoarding my crystals. I don't care if it's a raid team, but it's not a GL or the next capital ship. I'm not going to invest. That's where my mindset is as a content creator, right? Because there's going to be people like Tassenix. There's going to be people like Scribe and all of them that are going to be the ones that are going to be like, hey, I'm going to get these raid characters. This is the best team. This is the best team comp XYZ, right?
Hey,
And it's
Silent
gonna,
Static.
and
Silent Static, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome.
oh, sorry, Taz.
Also,
go
I
ahead.
don't think we're getting a GL that soon. But
No,
man,
GL
if
will
it's
be in the
next
fall
quarter,
at the earliest.
yeah,
So,
I
but
think we're actually looking at quarter 4. So that would
It's
be
usually in
like
the
a
fall,
year from
right?
now.
well, yeah, Hondo came in October, if I'm correct, September or October.
And the one before that was they released them in quarter. Was that quarter 3?
Yeah.
Ahsoka was in quarter 4.
No, quarter 3 is for them is October to December. So Ahsoka
Then
was
that would be
quarter
quarter
2.
3. No, because she came in
Wasn't
December.
she August?
She came in
She was
December.
early.
Ahsoka came in December
Oh,
because
well, yeah, no,
remember
she
it was
was
the
December.
6
Jabba
months.
was the yeah. So
Yeah.
Jabba came out in September. Leia came out in October. Ahsoka came out in December. Hondo came out in October.
Last
Yeah.
year, right?
Yeah, he came out in
Yeah,
October. Yeah.
yeah. So we're probably looking at that time frame at least for the GL. But the GL is probably going to come halfway through the raid cycle, is my guess.
And I'm okay with that because
Yeah.
again, I know I'm thinking from a selfish standpoint. If I'm waiting 5 more months, I'm gonna have like 70,000 crystals hoarded up, ready to go. And I buy a 12 pack and then a 5 pack. That's 19,000 with the episode pass where I'm getting additional 20 shards. I'm gonna be able to get 5. I'm gonna be able to get the whole era for free, basically.
Well,
And that's
hopefully you get a
on
good
top.
roll.
That's
Let
going to
me-
include the crystals that I'm going to be getting still from dailies, from Fleet Arena and Grand Arena, right? So I'm okay with that.
Nice. Let me get some comments here from the chat in.
Mhm.
So yeah, I see TNL asked which Omicron would be the best to go for next.
If he's doing
Pick
Jabba right, that would be.
He's got Chrysanthemum already.
You could say Chrysanthemum could use it, but that by no means
He
would
already has it.
define. That would not define for me whether or not it was a high priority one, because that's a middling Omicron.
He already has it.
Right.
Oh, well, see, okay, not even a point of discussion.
That's about right. Just
by
support
my-
Honestly,
him
there's
to
not a
ready.
good honestly, looking at your roster, there's not a good answer for that because you have a bunch that would be really good. And unless you want each one of us to rattle off like 10 to 12 of
Any
them,
of you dicks would let me finish a sentence. I was just about to tell the man. Why don't you pick 3
No.
Omicrons that you're interested in, and we'll tell you how to rank them. How's that sound? Instead of telling you what to do with 1 Omicron, how about you tell us 3 Omicrons you're kind of juggling, and we'll tell you what we think about prioritizing. That's I think a fairer use, because any
hate that idea.
resource assignment in this game should always be looked at in contrast to another assignment, right? The question is rarely, is Jabba the Hutt good? Sure, Jabba the Hutt's good. Is he as good as what? As JMK? As Vader? As Ahsoka? As whatever? Like, you it should always be looked at through that lens in my.
I think that it's unreasonable for you to expect you to be able to talk on your own stream.
That's right. Damn you. Damn you all. All right. Next next question. Let me see here. Silent Static asks, what are your thoughts on the new characters, the ones that joined? We've talked about them. I talked about them earlier in the stream just by myself in the earlier part. So if you missed all that, that was one of the earlier questions that we talked about. Like, what were my plans as far as teams based on all of these new era units? And I'll flash that here. Let me see if I can't navigate my way. screen.
Taz is gonna.
My
flash
main
us.
monitor
Wow.
is doing a reset cycle right now, so I'm actually
I
navigating.
would also like to point out that Tass said he was going to flash us.
Thank
And
you.
didn't you learn anything from Heinze?
Oh no!
Oh, God.
Oh yeah! Yeah,
Hope
yeah,
we-
yeah.
I hope we
Right.
never. I hope we never learned anything from Heinz.
So these are
The only thing we learned is
Tell me
berry
about
bombs are bad.
these are some sample teams that we discussed. Now, the first thing that you'll notice about this team is that if you do have a tank in there with this Boba Fett lead and the Asajj Ventress Dark Disciple, then you will not have the bonus protection, 200% bonus protection. So it's there's also he also will not get Disciple from her Omicron. So there are some losses to have a tank here, but somebody asked about this because yeah, they kind of do stick out as a sore thumb to not use them. But if you're thinking that you want to have the full benefit of the team and you want to be a little riskier, Sam is an amazing choice as the fourth, and then the fifth could still be Forlom. The fifth could be Zuckuss. No, not literally not Zuckuss. What am I saying? Or it could be Forlom. It could be Boba Fett. It could even be Dengar. And I I think that like Zam Forlom seems to be kind of a pain in the ass to me if I had to guess.
I was
Um,
actually sorry. I was actually going to say shout really quick. Shout out to OG Boba.
Hmm.
OG Boba is
Ye-
a very strong character. AOE ability block remains a rare skill. And he's also
Well, it's tech. I think it's technically multi-target.
okay.
Because I think
In
it
terms
only
of
hits
how it's
one
applied, you
person.
mean?
Yeah, I think it's only one ability block, right? It's only
Let me double check that.
I'm reasonably confident that more than one character can be ability block, but by all means check. Anyway,
Yeah,
the
more
point
than
of
one
all-
can be ability block.
no. So it's 80% chance to inflict ability block for one turn
Uh-huh.
on each enemy, and then the target enemy gets ability block for 2 turns.
Okay, good stuff.
But both of those
Okay.
can still be resisted. But it's technically
Yeah.
2 application chances for the primary target.
Yeah, that's why in my head I thought it was multi-target, but it's actually 2 different ability blocks. One is the target gets it for 2 turns, and then one is to everyone for 1 turn.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like
no other
Zam
ability block in the game works like that.
Boba
Yeah,
might
that's what I was saying. Like, you had to something fuck you with it. Thank you, Kadar.
No. So Zamboba might be very potent. So all you people that have kept reasonably strong mods on your Zams all these years, you shall be rewarded. Consider that for any of these characters that you'd be using with this Boba Fett Saj thing, and you're trying to take advantage of this bonus protection, you'll be wanting to check out health primaries in as much as possible for the members of this team. I think a lot of these guys I have set into protection from older times, so it's worth checking on for yourself. Interestingly, moving on from that, yeah, Afra again. I covered all this in much greater detail earlier, so I won't belabor it all over again. But Afra, BT1, 000, IG90 is your core of the 5-man team, and then you can have a pretty rigorous debate about who you want for this last slot. That could be Darth Vader. That could be IG88. That could be General Grievous if you're not using it somewhere.
I think for
that-
this, set. Sorry.
Mhm. Well, I was gonna say, if you actually have the focus datacron, and I explained all this earlier, there is added synergy for target lock right now. And in
Yes.
normal times, BT1 has the only ability that specifically gains, like his flamethrower, specifically gains when the target has target lock. Otherwise, it's kind of just whatever. It's hanging around. But if you have the focus datacron, you're getting all these other added effects. Check the level 3 and 6 abilities on it, and then just more. You're getting a little more help in that direction from the IG90 at level 9. But that isn't the magic. The point is that your last candidate for the team you should consider is somebody that's applying target lock, and that's how we got to like IG88 or IPD.
General Grievous does target lock on his AoE as well as lawnmower.
He does. He just costs you a team. Not that I get a lot of play out of General Grievous these.
No, I was just going to add to what you were saying that I think it's IPD, IG88, or GG as your realistic options for this team if you have the focus Datacron.
Yeah. So next, this
Not
is
that there aren't other good options. Like Forlom is a really good option on the team too.
yeah. Yes, he is. Yes. That is the Kadar, Alley Gal. Hey, how you doing? 3 scoundrels in a cantina just
Alley.
raided in. Appreciate you guys
Welcome.
with 13 viewers. We've been chilling over here. I just finished up my TB run. We've been answering questions all night. And pleasure to have you guys over. How is it? How's the evening? Let's see. Yeah, folks were just asking real quick thoughts about the new the new era units. And I did a lot of discussion about this earlier. So if you missed that, check that earlier part of the VOD. But as a high level recap, we were just quickly showing over the team. So yeah, this Leia one, Dagger just spoke about this a few minutes ago about why he likes this in 5 versus 5. I am also assuming with use the focus Datacron. I remain skeptical, but open to being convinced that this is a
Yeah.
competitive choice to having Radis Jin, because I think in either scenario we're talking about an offense team, and it'll be hard for me to
Yeah.
give up Jin. So we'll see.
My only argument was that the support cron currently exists, so the Jin Radis thing feels pretty lackluster. And if that doesn't function the way you want it to, you have to take real characters. And I will just quickly run it down again. The last time when people were putting Zalbar on this a couple months ago, I was using like Chupio plus Old Ben or Chupio plus C3PO when we had a droid cron to have C3PO, R2, and Chupio. I think that when there are anti-stealth mechanics at play to basically make the Jin thing irrelevant, I do think that this is going to be fine because I just don't think that Jin Radis are very good either. They just happen to be better than most of the other options.
Fair.
But it's not like I'm trying to replace them because I feel like they're lackluster. That doesn't mean that these two are going to be better.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's see. Before I continue here, just a quick question. Who would you Relic 10 first, Malicos or Starkiller?
Depends on what you want to what you're using them for.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
complicated
application
question.
matters.
Like, do you have Stranger?
I did
Do you have
Malicos
Spider
first.
Maul? Can you offer the highest form of the latest threatening team if you were to do so? Maybe then Starkiller, but honestly, for me, I had the option, and I saw the upgrade coming for Starkiller on the horizon. I really did enjoy making Relic 10 Malicos because he's just great reasons. I mean, similar reasons to why you're proposing the other one. I mean, he eats up just about every little bit of the upgrade. The health is fine. What is it? Yeah, armor penetration he gets a little bit of. The bit of damage here pushed him up over 13,000. Over 100,000 health at 260 speed with a crit damage triangle. This is insane. And yeah, not that I have a heavy stack of it or anything, but 10% crit avoidance alongside the little bits of health protection and armor for a character who is the primary, focus for the enemy's damage. I'm down with it. All of it was good. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
Honestly, I ended up doing Malicos first, but the reason I did Malicos was because for the attacker cron period, having him have a 5% relic delta versus Ray attacker helped me use this team versus Ray Ben Ezra a couple times to win that fight. I think in a vacuum right now, if you have already R10 Maul for the resource event, I would do Starkiller to R10. Now, if you don't have Maul at 7 stars, the R10 Starkiller is liable to get the mark. So I would maybe say put a pin in that.
There. All right. Ren2G says I have everything just thinking Malicos is always on offense after Galactic Legends. Yeah, I mean, if you find that he's already performing sufficiently for you on offense, then because I've had times where things have gotten a little dicey, a little closer than I would like, and I'm fighting the biggest and best accounts with the craziest crons and all of it, And it takes a while to find an edge case where you're like, geez, we just barely made it out of there. Or I might even lose. And I will tell you, I feel a little bit better having this Relic 10 here. Now, if you are not finding that you're having that kind of pain, no pressure in that sense, then yes, Star Killer is going to be getting more play on defense these days, giving him that added hand. I'm okay with. And honestly, this is one of the reasons why I have Spider Maul. I like Spider Maul with the crit damage triangle. By the time he gets into Descent into Madness 3, he ends up getting low enough that he'll pass the taunt over to the next highest health, which for me is going to be Star Killer. But by then, that should be happening after Star Killer's already dropped the ship. So now they're going to be forced to hit him, and he's going to be answering back with an unleashed basic, hit the whole team. So I kind of like that idea. In any case, ensuring that he would be the next healthiest after Spider Maul would be the best way to get that done. And for me, it's up to you who you have to sit
Well,
there
he's
and
the
think
only
for
one.
yourself who you want to be the next healthiest. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, mechanically, he's the only other one on the team that's going to get more.
No, because it's unaligned force user that can get it. It doesn't require dark side.
Are you sure?
The taunt, yes. The
Check
force
that.
mark, yes. It's to Ufu. It's to unaligned force user. So it could technically target, Visas or Cal, whatever.
Regardless, I let what Tess said is true, but I would do the math at
Yeah,
R10 to see if it's stronger than Maul, because I wouldn't want him to be stronger than Maul to start the fight.
Yeah, you would never want that, and that's extremely unlikely that would be.
I can't
Well, if you have
confirm
a
it
four- if you
is
have a
the
four-star
healthiest
Maul-
Ufu in general, alignment not mattering.
Well, I'm saying if you have a 4-star Maul, Tass, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yes, okay, fine. Well, I think you predicated your answer on I would consider Relic 10 for Star Killer if you'd already done it for Spider Maul, therefore not, Relic 10 Spider Maul, therefore not 4-star Spider Maul.
yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All fair. Okay. Next one. Let's talk about Inquisitors. So I talked about how the Kron I will probably be taking onto the main Inquisitorius team and having Ninth Sister, and I'm using it because that level 3 ability there is the same level 9 ability that we used to have on Ninth Sister. Getting, the whole team's getting 200% health, immunity to ability block, blah, 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 blah. It's very powerful. I want to say though that a viewer commented this, and I remember some patrons mentioned this earlier, so I'd be remiss to mention it. You could do something like Seer Malicos Cal, Inquisitor Barris, and Ninth Sister, and use the Kron, but I honestly think that this feels forced. I feel like it's inferior to using an attacker Kron for the sake of Malicos. If you were to do this, I would think this is an offense only composition. Because certainly I would never want to rely on Ninth Sister needing to take 2 turns before she will actively put up taunt. And otherwise, it's going to require that another Empire ally is damaged by a critical hit. So that means your Inquisitor Barris only. If she is critically hit, then she'll passively taunt. But that's it. That feels a little more effort. I mean, don't get me wrong. The 3 is great. The 9 being active, if you have it for Barris on her focus Datacron, great. But otherwise. Tarful, this again is a team that I don't think I'm really going to see. But if I did see it, it would be Tarful, Zalbar, and Chewie. Clone Wars Chewbacca if you have the focus Datacron, because it's a banger, actually, the level 6 ability for Clone Wars Chewbacca. He needs a lot of help, and this is a lot of help. And so that has justified his position in this team. And then your last Wookiee is kind of up for grabs. You could throw in Chewpio, you could throw in Chewbacca, you could throw in Veteran Chewie, you could throw in a whole bunch of different characters depending on what your needs are. But the reason Chewbacca was in here is because another viewer here tonight said, the Princess Leia and Stormtrooper Luke thing. Yeah, okay, in Leia is one thing, but I was thinking about it as its own team. Stormtrooper Luke, Princess Leia, Stormtrooper Han, 2PO, and C-3PO. And this, I do believe, is going to be updated to say that this GAC Omicron is active only in 3 versus 3. If this is the case, I don't think there's a reason that I would end up seeing this in 5 versus 5 as a leader. It right now says while in Grand Arenas, so people are thinking this is active, but I'm pretty sure that that's an error. It's not meant to be that way. Princess Leia's Omicron is active full time, but whatever. I mean, the magic full kit for Luke. So if this ends up somehow being a real active Omicron on Storm 5 versus 5, yeah, you might try this. So credit to the folks bringing that up earlier because yeah, I
Honestly,
doubt
I
I'll
wouldn't
see
even add the
this.
other. I wouldn't even add the other two. I would just 3-man. Like the team is strong enough as a 3-man to take out things like Gungans, probably.
Sure, yeah, I think some people have it in mind to set it as a defense. Um,
Oh well, Chupio would be good because of the stats here, but I don't think I would take a 5th. It's a really good undersized team because there's such a good core of 3.
that's not an unfair point, but yeah, to the extent that Chupio is great with a rebel lead, C3PO is
Yeah.
just better for everybody. It's not a terrible core concept as a team. I just find it unlikely that I'll run into it. All right, and
I
then
would say I would not run
that's
that.
the end of the list. Sorry, what's that?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I would run that even if it. I wouldn't run that team on defense even if it worked. The board's too small in 5v5 to justify something like that.
I agree.
Like I'm not even sure that Wookiees are going to be good enough, and
I
I think
agree.
they are like on the borderline for good enough.
I
Right?
think
I
that
really
I
do. I
think
think that
they're
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 good enough.
week one bottom front. Let's see what you do type of
Yeah,
defense.
yeah. And as strong as Wookiees are right now with their focused datacron, I'm not actually that sure. Although I wouldn't play. I don't even know. Like, man, I wouldn't run OG Chewbacca there. On,
Yeah,
probably
who do you
Vet.
like instead?
I would find space for Vet Chewie and Vet Han on that team.
So I honestly don't think you're dropping Yoda and Chewie and Zalbar
No,
and Zalbar with the focus datacron seems way too essential to not have. So you're talking about cutting Clone Wars Chewbacca and dropping that true
possibly.
damage he's doing?
Yeah, well, possibly. The only reason I say that is because I feel like, and obviously we haven't gotten to use this team in 5v5, so this is all just me, just like speculating. But I really do think that you're going to want the AoE ability block and just the extra damage output they're going to have.
Nice.
I just don't know. I don't know how much damage this team has. Like it's even with Chewbacca, like this team right here, I don't know how much. I don't know if it has enough damage.
Yeah.
Even with Clone Wars, Chewie's like mechanic.
Yeah, well, you're also relying to some degree on the dots getting out of hand very quickly. That's kind of the gimmick that you're doing, and Zalbar's feeding into that,
Yeah.
right? So that's kind
And
of
I was
what's
just thinking anybody. Yeah, and I was just kind of thinking anything with tenacity up or like Gungans. Gungans will be, like just laugh that off. Like I know the Gungans beats a bunch of stuff, so I'm not even saying that that's like. I'm just saying that I think there's a. Yeah. Anyways, that I was mostly bemoaning the fact that the GAC board is too small.
Yeah. Darth Zavor
Yeah,
says,
it's
I
super
have a
good.
4-star Maul, and it's still hard to get Starkiller healthier if you mod Maul for bulk. So it's good to know. I mean, he'll.
Yeah, Maul's unique does carry him quite a bit in that as well.
Yeah.
Fair
Also,
enough.
I would take Tarkin off that EP team and put OG Darth Vader there or Thrawn.
I appreciate that. I didn't really give them their props. I'm sorry, I didn't. I guess I kind of skipped over that team. Yeah. Of course,
Because
you have these
remember,
three.
Darth Vader gets. Sorry.
You have these three.
Darth Vader gets
Sure.
speed for Empire and Sith. And with Darth Vader, and EP all being Empire Sith and MJ and a 5th, like you're already at like plus 56 speed.
I do
And that's
think
without adding anything that your opponent is doing.
the,
So
the
Darth Vader's going to be pretty easy to get really fast.
well, the one thing that's always really crazy, that if you're using Darth Vader and you're setting him on defense, you set him knowing that it's not till his second turn that he pops off. Not so under Emperor Palpatine. He's gonna crush. He's gonna get a shit ton of turn meter right back
Yep.
and pop right off. So that is a fair point. We were talking earlier about how Tarkin has so many debuffs to offer, especially if you set him up well. He can do huge damage. And then whenever he's doing any form of damage at all, he's putting shock on the enemy, which is crazy under an EP lead. I think that there's merit in using him, but I think you're probably right. Darth Vader is the superior choice only because we are specifically under EPs. We get to Merciless Massacre essentially immediately. So that's fair.
Also remember that with the Datacron for Duel's End, you're going to be matchup hunting, and the teams you're going to be looking at are teams that attack out of turn, and a lot of the teams that attack out of turn are Rebels and or Jedi, which means Darth Vader is going to get even more speed from those matchups. So it won't be unrealistic to have a Darth Vader that's like, I'm looking at mine, it's 285, and it's not even in a speed set, it's in an offense
Let
set.
me show you something.
So like,
mine is a bad lad. Boy.
All right. I am heading to bed, gentlemen. It is
care,
that time
man.
of night because I
Have
have
a
a
great
big day tomorrow as
Thanks for
Darth
joining.
Revan.
You have a good one,
Troopers had to go. He just wanted to say he's got to be up in 4 hours.
Troopers,
so
you had to
he
go.
just
Take
wa-
care, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But always good to see you guys. And Taz, thank you again for your help on the big charity stuff, buddy.
Yeah, man. Happy to help. Really.
I
All right,
also
y'all have a good one.
All right,
Have a
take
good one,
care,
buddy.
Kadar.
Everybody
Have a good
crash.
night. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, happy to be here as always, my guy. Look forward to the next time.
And I was talking about the other Vader task. The other Vader, if you put him in a speed set, like 310 is like reasonable. So like with his team alone, you're looking at like 370, 380.
Oh, you
And
want
then
to
if
put
you're
the OG Darth Vader very fast? I might look into that.
Yeah, because he's mostly a turn meter engine on this team. So if you look mine's 285 in an offense set, and I'm pretty sure I could get him to
Yeah, you were
300 to
talking about
310
OG. Yeah, I was thinking.
with. Oh yeah, because he's gonna let's just say you fight Ahsoka, that's 2 Jedi, 3 Jedi, 2 Jedi, right? So that's another 16 speed. Like you get the matchup hunt.
Oh, you know that Darth Vader being here means that our crit chance burden that much lower since hatred will be on the field.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like I have to
Yeah, and
reframe.
I can. Yeah, I mean, oh, they can just look at my eyes. That's cool.
Yeah,
Look, if you leave it like this, you can actually see the hairline that Tass doesn't have.
like that.
So you probably
Hear
want to
this?
zoom out so it's less.
You
It
hear
looks
this?
less
You
bad
hear
to
this
you.
abuse, people?
You should hear what he says to me, not here. Actually, you shouldn't.
Really
You probably
shouldn't.
would have. Yeah. One or both of us would have the FBI.
What about all that?
I mean, maybe not the FBI, but necrophilia is frowned upon.
Oh, is that so? I
Actually
appreciate
illegal.
that. That's
Yeah.
bold of you to be willing to cover that.
But yeah, I plan to try to see how fast I can get my Darth Vader within reason for this team. Can you imagine if somebody actually put Leia on defense and then your Darth Vader is just like plus 120 speed?
I can.
That would be really cool.
All right. I think that's about.
I also like the Inquisitor team. I don't know if the new Barris really has a spot on the Inquisitors, though.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like unless you're trying to do that sear thing that somebody mentioned,
Oh, yeah.
I think that is a potential offensive usage, but it also feels pretty forced. Not in like the use the force kind of way, like the don't use.
Yeah. I think she's fighting with a spot for like Maul. Right? Like on the Seer team, I mean, right? Like it's Seer, Malicos, Cal, and probably Crew. And then the fifth spot is like Maul or ATF or Barris.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying she's the wrong choice. I'm just saying that she's fighting for that last spot. Unless you're going to go tankless on offense, I could see. And then you go Maul Barris. That might be interesting.
Sure. Yep.
Against something like Rey, you might not need a tank.
Mhm. All right, guys, we've handled a lot of questions. I'm through TB. We've spent probably another hour besides just fielding everything that was coming from you guys. But yeah, Vader slaps. I'm beat. About time to get ready for working 3 days. Yeah, it's about time for me to knock off as
We
well.
have
So let's get
we have one more
about.
question.
Yeah, what's up?
It's a quick one. Hey, Tassenix, what
Oh,
is the
shit.
R10 Leviathan comp that brings out Scimitar first?
All right, I'll let you in. Take a screen grab. I'll leave it up here for a few seconds while I do all my outro stuff. How's that? I'll give you the starting view on it. Let me kill my camera so you can take a clean screen grab. Kill the chat pane real quick. All right, take your screen grab. That's the one. That's the one I use in Squad Arena or Fleet Arena every day. Basically, you're seeing that it's Scimitar and three non-Sith ships. It will always choose a Sith ship over a non-Sith ship, and that is what we have learned. So, there you go. Anyways, before I get this wrapped up and send us on out the door, Dagger is the last surviving, drop-in guest. What do you have to say to the people?
Uh,
You had me
Prepare
reframe
for
that
week
camera and
one.
shit just for you to turn it off at the end.
Oh, when you said turn the camera off, I turned my camera off. It was unclear on.
No, yeah, that wasn't a hint to you. That was a.
No, no. Yeah.
It
Anyway,
doesn't cover anything that you need.
prepare for 5v5 if you want. If you don't, then just don't put mods on your characters like Tass. But I do recommend you put mods on your characters, unlike Tass.
The more you know.
Thanks for
Very
having
fair.
me, buddy. I appreciate you having me on for these. They're always fun.
Yeah. Dropped in. We can make room. All right, guys. Let's get this done. Back. All right. So, first, if you're catching me live, you already know that I'm here at twitch.tv/Tassenix. I also simulcast from my YouTube channel, Tassenix Gaming, where, if you've not been there before, check it out. Bunch of Slugger-related content that I think you'll be interested in, including things like the GAC Omicron tier list, which I do need to update at some point. I will freely comment and time. Stuff like the mod guides on characters and factions that you've requested, the how-to mod guide series on building up your mod collection from scratch, and it's also a rebroadcasting point for my Grand Arena focused podcast, Plotting and Scheming, that I make with my friends Dagger, DJ, Sasha, Aisha, and Fatal, where we break down our combats in the thereabouts of the top 100 of Kyber 1. We'll tell you how we dealt with the meta matchups of the week and our favorite attacks and defenses that we saw out there, our lessons learned for the week to come, and anything else we think that's worth sharing with you guys. So, whether you're catching that show, rebroadcast it over to YouTube, or from its native home on Spotify, check the description. There is a link that you can use to plug it into your preferred podcast program, and that way. Anything you watch over there on the YouTube, if you enjoyed it, please do hit like, hit subscribe to the channel to see more. Likewise, follow on Twitch. All completely free ways to support the channel, and I very much appreciate it. We're continuing to grow all these years later. We have a pretty niche audience, but a devoted audience and growing still. So I really do appreciate that. And of course, if you hats off, I can't take my hat off, Megatron. How about we'll do hats on just for you? How about I put it back on since I already had it off? How's that great? But yeah, if you want to go above and beyond to support the stream, you really love what I'm doing here, there are a few ways to support me. First, I have a Cash App that is $Tassenix. I have a PayPal that is tassenix@gmail.com. And if you're interested, does this work at Relic 9 as well, DeCobb? This is designed to, well, first of all, it can work. Like if you're fighting it at Relic 9 and they're not, yeah, but you are going to lose ship every time. So you will bleed banners. The point is that you're back to the same old matchup you're used to if you have the Relic 10 Darth Revan. So you may not be needing to be your first one, but if you're finding that it's painful for you to lose those extra banners fairly reliably, I definitely had him like second or third. I forget how quickly I picked him up, but he was in my first three. I'm sure of that. tell you that. I would definitely recommend it. And of course, yeah, back to the other ways to support the channel. Last but not least, if you want to get some enhanced Grand Arena scouting power for yourself, early access to my content, including plotting and scheming, and a few other benefits besides, you may be interested in becoming a patron. Check out patreon.com/Tassenix. For any upwardly mobile Grand Arena player, there is something there of interest for you at $5 a month. You enter the Task House at VIP access level, where you get early access to the Plotting and Scheming show. That's coming out to our general audience Friday mornings at 8 a.m., but patrons have it as early as Monday or Tuesday night, depending on when we set down to record. And that'll give you early insight going into the first round of the week. Aside from that, I do make occasional patron exclusive videos that you'll have at least a month ahead of the general public, and of course, dedicated text and voice chat on Discord, where I am usually lurking, so pop on in and say hi. Thank you so much to all my patrons here at VIP Access. Moving on up to VIP Access Plus, that is $10 a month for a bundled Patreon access to me and to your choice of either OmegaBot or Hot Utils Patreon. OmegaBot's that tool that I highlight at the start of all of my Grand Arena streams. It's the one with the graphs showing you your opponent's offensive and defensive tendencies in a readily digestible way. Anybody can use that tool for free to scout their opponent's last week of Grand Arena history, but only patrons can build out a custom report with any number of weeks. You get a downloadable HTML version with links that you can click, taking you right back into Swigga.gg or Insight. Data pre-sorted, just helping you further focus and minimize your scout. Alternatively, you might spring for the Hot Utils Patreon instead, aka Chili subscription, which is your number one tool for mass mod management and loadout creation. Nothing else lets you switch so easily between Grand Arena, TB, TW, and Raid mods. You can use it like TJ and Fatal do to comprehensively remod your roster using the powerful automation feature. You can slice through hundreds of mods in seconds, help out your guild in TW, transform bronziums into loot instantly, so much more. No wrong way to go at VIP Access Plus. Thank you to all of my patrons this tier. And of course, VIP Access Premium is $15 a month for the Double Bot bundle. So Patreon access for me, OmegaBot, and Hot Utils all in one price. Going out and getting these bots anywhere else costs the same as this triple bundle, which is why so many of my patrons say it's one of the best values in the game. Thank you to all of my patrons at this tier. I know you enjoy those double bots. Of course, at the top of the list in Jester's Club Elite, the one, the only Nomad's Reaper, a madman who really needs no introduction, but, he's carried Hype Train record year after year on this channel, popping in, dropping hundreds of subs, thousands of biddies. Incredibly generous. Thank you, sir. Of course, to Pills, who follows in the noble steps of Nomads, and just from time to time drops in, starts going crazy. 10 subs here, 100 subs there. Never quite know what I'm expecting, but it is always generous. It is always appreciated. Thank you, Bill. Special thanks go out to the Lost Womp Rat, one of my patrons, who goes above and beyond the Call of Duty, not only for me, but for my community, helping us all out with our various IT-related issues, whether we're streamers and having problems with OBS, Stream Deck, what have you, or just a more ordinary user. Womp Rat's got the touch. So appreciate you, man. Thank you. Mrs. T, my wife, thank you for all you do in the background. Whether that's just bringing me something to eat or drink here on stream, or just keeping our daughter from tearing the house apart while I'm trying to be the very best like no one ever was at a phone game. Appreciate you. And of course, again, to my co-hosts, I'm Plotting and Scheming. Dagger, TJ, Sasha, Aisha, and Fatal. Gentlemen, as always, it is a pleasure and a privilege to record our show together, despite the pressures of work and family and raising a horde of kittens, as you guys make yourselves available on a weekly basis for our show, and I appreciate it because I learn from every episode. I hope the feeling is occasionally the same for you, but regardless, it's not about us. It is about the viewers and listeners. And it is rare that a day goes by that I don't get some, kind note on Discord, comment on YouTube, thanking us for our discussions on the show, because folks are picking things up from it, applying it in their own rounds, and it's helping them win the day. We are having the impact with our show that we wanted. Thank you for being a part of it. Wouldn't change a thing. All right. Let us make ready to close on down. You've spent more for less. Great deal here. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you, man. I definitely think that folks get a great value for sure. I can say that with all. All right, let's go ahead and get ready to raid you guys out on YouTube. Is anybody actually live for Galaxy shows? Nope. Gonna have to drop you guys into the abyss. I'm sorry, but thank you all for tuning in on the YouTube side. Appreciate you. Hopefully you got your TV done. All right, and over here on the side. There's a video. Oh, okay. Meathead. I actually follow Meathead here on Twitch. So Meathead is playing Magic the Gathering. Oh, that's kind of cool. Might even stay up for a few minutes and watch that a bit. I'll let Dagger know. He's a big Magic. But yeah, let's go ahead and drop in on our community manager here for Swugga, right? Oh, it looks like he switched over to Star Citizen. That's fine. That's fine. All right, starting up the raid. Give my regards. Say hi to Meathead for me. And yeah, thank you for joining. This has been a lot of fun while I got everything I needed to get done in the background. I've got a couple ideas from our talk tonight to start working on in the morning. I'll get cracking right away. But until next time, it's been real. It's been awesome. Real awesome. Take care.